What's going on, y'all? This is the Slipping Kind of Podcast. We're at the Kenichi Bed Studios. I'm BINK. This is my partner, GOLDENBOY. What's up, baby? How you feeling, man?
Face cut good, nose clean. I feel good, baby.
You
Got
feel
the new
good?
taper. You know, I was looking rough. We ain't gonna talk about that. The beanie came in clutch though.
Ooh.
I ain't know if I was gonna need another Golden Boy beanie today. But
Who's your barber? Who's your barber?
Coach Rick. Shout out to Coach Rick. Guy who helped raise me. One of my neighbors was he was the coach for Patuxent Rhino. Shout out to him, man. Thanks for making me look good all my life.
If y'all see GOLDENBOY out in town, y'all see him with a fresh taper, and y'all see he got a flock and a swarm around him, don't blame him, blame the barber. Blame this barber, man. That taper clean as hell.
Well, you got me over here. See, I'm just gonna stick to the curly. You said they got people trying to drown over here.
You know, I had to pull the waves out on them today. You know, it's Good Friday.
No velvet
right? Today,
no
right?
Velvet.
It's Good Friday, man.
Is that velvet?
Hey, it is velvet. You know, stay with the wave brush. Stay with the wave brush.
Oh my! All right, AB.
For real, we can talk about AB a little bit.
True.
We can talk about AB a little bit. But yeah, man. So today we got a special episode this Friday. We have a special guest coming on later. We not.
Don't tell.
No, I ain't gonna tell. We're not gonna tell you who we got coming on, but we got a very special guest, a very decorated guest. She is a beast, phenomenal, ferocious, everything and above. I'm right? I ain't lying.
Nah, she's getting from. She's still early in her pro career, but I'm enjoying what I'm seeing. You know how I always talk about, you know, how I was raised about how you becoming a better complete pro.
Right.
Like Custom Model used to say, it's not that you fighting tomato cans early in your career, it's how you get rid of them.
Ooh.
And she's gotten better each fight with how she's getting rid of the tomato cans and how she's doing it. So I'm gonna save all that for when she get.
We gonna save it when she get here. Make sure y'all stay locked in. Don't forget to go to the channel, like, comment, and subscribe. Turn on your notifications. Keep locking in with us. We're going to keep running this stuff up for y'all, man. So real quick, we wanted to touch back on a little bit of her scene, Rockman and Jake Paul. We want to finish that up. Because I feel like you still got a little bit on your chest. It's still a little bit of congestion there. You ain't get it out yet. You ain't cough it all up. So I'm going to let you cough that up right now. Do your thing, bro.
The three names that I had forgot. Marshall Thompson, Choir Boy, who fought in the UFC as well. And my guy Super Sadiq, that's the third guy who I couldn't think of, who trained out of Lloyd Irvin. He who's fighting in the UFC right now as well. Man, it's wait, that one. What's up, y'all? All right, what's up, Lloyd Irvin? But those three guys are killers, man. They were killers, man. You know, but you remember the names I was mentioning? I didn't know it was that serious until after the clips from what we did got
the last
posted.
episode, yeah.
And I saw Big Phil liked it. And I didn't know it was that serious until, they're older than Jay Leon, Mama's Boy, MB, Big Phil, Dan Jake. All of them are older than me. So Big Phil, I didn't know that Big Phil was going at Jay Leon neck. Jay Leon went on live and he was in a pool and something was said. And he said, "Oh, you talking about New York Phil, Big Phil? Oh yeah, that's my man. But nah, too many fights." Because they was talking about people was putting in the comments who he could put in there or whatever. Yeah. He said, "Oh, too many fights, too many amateur fights, too many pro fights. They gotta make sense." But Big Phil took a layoff.
Right.
So they was, it was why once you put Big Phil in and things like that, and it started to get serious. Well, I didn't know it was like that until people thought I was purposely mentioning Phil. And I wasn't, but I was just throwing out the names of different guys that I knew, from this area that would probably destroy him.
Right.
But since we really want to go there, now I could remember I was like, shoot, man, them stories for another day about Big Phil.
Load the clip.
Well, this is another day.
Load the clip.
Come on in, kiddies. Come on in with your big cousin Silk. Let's have a quick conversation. Story time. Big Phil. Philip Jackson Benson from New York. Woo, baby. Woo. Woo. That's what they used to say when he walked through the door at the Blue and Golds. He was like raw. I mean, he was raw.
Yeah.
He fought, I think he fought Danny Jacobs. He only had it couldn't have been 10 amateur fights.
Mm-hmm.
It was either 10 amateur fights or less. And he gave all of them guys all they wanted.
Right.
they had to literally beat him off of their experience. If they were on the same levels, and they would have lost. He was, if put it like this. Remember what me and Tank said in that interview a few years back? When you saw Ty Barnett, Lamont Peterson, Anthony Peterson walk through the door, you knew somebody was getting stopped, somebody was getting hurt. Like, that's Phil.
Big time.
That was Big Phil. Man, when he broke his hand in one of, I always heard these stories. Like, man, I saw some of his fights, but I never got to know him until he moved up here. So he fighting on gene cards. And that's when I got really cool with him. Yeah, they still to this day. You know, I'm watching you, little bro. You know, I'm watching after you. Yeah, you one of them guys that look after me from the shadows. My man, Big Phil, that's my guy. You don't try to say there's monsters in boxing, but like I said, he was pretty damn close. And when he hit you, you knew about it. Especially when he switched to AD, the legendary Adrian Davis, and Adrian Davis was wrapping his hands a certain way and locking all of that in and putting on them red gloves and tying it back, pulling that glove. I was like, oh, he was hitting guys and I'm doing this. God. So one story I could tell you, I remember he stopped one guy at the convention center. There's so many stories I could tell. All of the names that I named, except for Greg Newby, he beat. And not only did he beat them, he beat them.
Right.
Like, he could box, but he didn't have to because he was literally walking Bamas down and just breaking them down. And so he get ready to fight Cujo. The bloody glove story. So this is what happened with Cujo. Cujo at the time I'm not sure if Cujo was still undefeated, but Cujo I know had like 2 belts. I think he had the USNBC and the Feker box. I'm not sure. Or either Phil had the Feker box because I know he had beat Maxwell Taylor. Manny Taylor, older brother, who fought Adrian Broner in Cincinnati. That Taylor, that's his brother. And Cujo, Big Phil, I never forget this after the way he said, bro, I'm gonna punish this dude, man. It's not gonna be like this is how he's talking. I swear to God. Bro. We at Rose, this is even after Rose, because I didn't go to the weigh-in. I got to Rose Cross, so I'm in the back. He's sitting there, and oh, what's up, babe? You dab me up, what's up, babe? You go. I said, man, you go, always tell my friends, love you, man, go do your thing, because, anything can happen at that time. I love them, be safe, do your thing. I got you, babe. Man, I'm gonna hurt this dude, man. Like, it was so nonchalant and scary how you said that. He walked out there from round 1. He played with Cujo, doing stuff like this. Grabbing his glove, letting him walk forward, laying on him, and pulled Cujo and swung him around, walked off and looked at the crowd and winked. And then he started. Adrian Davis, come on. Adrian Davis is like my father, strict disciplinarian.
Right.
Hey, man, stop playing. Let's go. Boom. Boom. I mean, you just hear boom, boom, boom. And you just start seeing Cujo getting busted up, broken up more and more. And you looking like, man, they need to stop this. Yeah. It was literally, his face was a spigot. Right. Like a well, like one of them old country water wells where after you stop it, it's still kind of like a little bit of a drip. Man, that's how bad it was. That bad. And for some, I never got the chance to ask him this question. Why the hell did you pick white gloves that night, bro? That didn't make no sense. He picked, dog, the gloves were pink when the fight was over.
Damage.
Slim, the gloves.
See the damage you doing.
Binks, the gloves were pink when it was over.
Right.
The gloves were pink. Juice was running water on them at Rosecroft. You know where the bathroom at Rosecroft? Yeah. That he trying to run all of this water on there. I mean, everything was sunk on that, bro. It was nasty. I mean, fight like that, you gotta stay in it. You say if you take a 30-minute shower, you probably gonna stay in it 45 to an hour to make sure you get all of this fighter's snot, blood, all that stuff off you. Right. That's how bad Big Phil broke. And if he was to get a shot to fight Jake Paul, the only shot I give Jake Paul, honestly, because he can't beat him in no category. Pray that Big Phil get old.
Right.
Lay off or not, you gotta pray Big Phil old. And it's time and not all the way clicking or something like that, because it's, son, you would hit guys and you do this. Damn. God, like that's what guys used to do. Like, boom, oh, shh. And it's just a stick. Like,
Yeah.
He was the man. He was close. You do George Foreman stuff. You would go shoot stuff sharp, and next thing you know, boom, boom, boom. Then you'll box for a little bit, get on his toes a little bit. Boom. I mean, you hit like a bass drum. Boom, with
Like
water in it or a towel in it. Boom, boom. Oh my. Oh. But man, shout out to Big Phil, man. Because even if he don't get the fight, I'm glad I could talk about another fighter on here that helped mold me as a fighter. I learned a lot from and watched. So, you know, big shout out to Big Phil.
No, for sure. Big shout out Phil Jackson, man. And if that's a fight that could ever come into fruition, if you ever get a chance at Jake Paul, we definitely hope you get it, brother. It's a couple guys that we mentioned too in the last episode. We mentioned Phil, we mentioned Dusty, and I like to see Sugar Sheed get a shot. That young boy right there, vicious. I know he's still amateur. He ain't turned pro yet. Yeah. But I love to see that young boy get a shot to get rid of the trash, get him out of this.
I mean, nah, that won't happen. The best thing that could happen is if, let's say, Jake was to call him to camp.
Yeah, get him in camp. Spar with him. He ain't gonna like that.
Why, bro?
Stop. He ain't gonna like it. We need that.
BINK, stop.
We need that, bro.
You know what's gonna happen,
What's gonna happen?
They gonna send him home. That's what's gonna happen.
Get your licks before they send you home.
They gonna send him home.
Hey, she, get your licks, baby. Get your licks before they send you home. Get your money and get your licks.
He go
home in 3 days.
How much we could put money down if that was to ever happen? 8-week camp, Sugar She go home in 2.
In 2 days?
2 weeks.
You gave 2 weeks.
I'll give it 2 weeks. He going home.
My other partner got sent home.
2 sparring sessions.
He got sent home, I think, after 1 or 2 sparring sessions. They sent his ass home.
That's right. I remember you said that.
Yeah, he said he put it on Jake so bad in training camp they kicked his ass up out of camp quick, early. You know what I'm saying? But man, let's go ahead and retire that Jake Paul topic for a little bit. We talked about that the last few episodes. We're gonna retire that. Let's get into some more important business. We got big business right now in the sport of boxing. We got Errol Spence and Terrence Crawford. The fight is nearing a deal. Supposedly, it's nearing a closing date, right? But hold on, we're gonna get into it. Look. He can't wait.
Get the wide. Look real quick. Look. Get this of me looking at him like I'm crazy.
We are nearing a deal, apparently, but it's still a lot of stuff that's up in the air as of right now. We got a lot of controversy going on with Terrence Crawford on his side of the bargain. You know what I'm saying? Some legal issues possibly. I don't know if you guys heard about what Bob Arum just said about Terrence Crawford.
Bobby.
Good old Bobby.
Bobby.
If Terrence Crawford is still doing deals with, what's the guy's name again?
Daniel Kenichi.
They saying that he could be possibly sanctioned and face U.S. law enforcement and do a little bit of time possibly. What's up?
Man, it's a touchy subject. I'm still getting a lot of messages about it. I mean, and to the point where, you know, I mentioned some of it to you last night, and I'm still a little testy on saying some of it. But so I'm gonna preference my comments, but this is my thing, and I'm gonna bounce this back to you. Why are we still talking about 2 30-year-old fighters and if they gonna fight or not? That's number one.
Go ahead.
Back in your court.
Why are we talking about 2 30-year-old fighters if they're gonna fight or not? Well, for one, we got to look at how far. You know, I'm a personal trainer, right? On the side, right.
Bad boy.
So we got to look at how far athletic training and nutrition and health has came along. A 34-year-old that's taking great care of his body is different from a 34-year-old back in the day.
That's not what I'm saying, though.
So what you trying to say?
What I'm saying is that why is it these fighters always, constantly, we want this fight to happen, or we want that fight to happen, it just gets drug along. And for instance,
I know what you're trying to say. That's because it's bigger than boxing. It's bigger than what's going on in the ring.
No, it ain't bigger than the negotiating table. That's what it is. It's ego.
But the negotiating table, then, like we just broke in the topic, Terrence might be still partnered with Daniel Kenichi. So if he's partnered up with that dude, that's bigger than negotiations in the ring and everything.
As his advisor and manager, you know, I guess he's playing the Al Heyman role for Bud. But
that's go ahead.
No, because I might be able to use it. What you was about to say?
My whole thing with this is, why is he not dealing with Al Heyman? Al Heyman known to take care of black fighters. Why not go mess with Al Heyman and Showtime? Why are you going to mess with this Irish dude?
I'll double up on it. I'll double up on what Bink just said. One question. Who re-signed on a deal 2-3 years ago when this already could have been settled and done with? And you know how much I love watching. You know I'll be breaking down the stuff he be doing tactically. But who had this opportunity to leave Bobby, and Bobby promised him 100. I don't know how true it is, but like, sign back to me. I'm gonna make sure I get the fight for you. And
you funny as hell for that. Trying to do his voice. He funny.
Nah, cause Bob always do that mess, man.
Yeah.
Like he's like, Terrence, I will get you the fight with. If you re-sign with me, I'll give you $1 million too.
Right. I think Terrence Crawford got checkmated on the business side of boxing. As far as top ranking Bob Arum goes, I don't think he made smart business decisions with Bob Arum.
That was the dumbest decision right there. That was the dumbest dumb decision.
Exactly.
Because two years ago, what is it? 2 years now? 3 years now?
Been like 2 or 3 years.
Whatever the case may be, this man had said, "Oh, he's not an earner. We lost more. Yeah, we lost more money with him than we've earned, and he doesn't sell this, he don't sell that." And Bud said the right thing. Then release me. Then what you want me for?
Right.
Because we all know when Bud fights at home, there ain't no crime happening.
Mm-hmm.
Everything stops.
Omaha show out for Bud, baby.
He sells.
Mm-hmm.
And now when it comes to Vegas or whatever, you ain't got to do no promotion when you fighting Sean Porter.
Mm-hmm.
You know what you getting.
Yeah.
You know what you getting.
Right.
You either it's gonna be a long night if you don't come ready, because everybody know, man, you fighting Sean Porter, you in for a long night.
Mm-hmm.
If you he gonna bring it.
Right.
You ain't got to do a lot of selling with that.
Mm-hmm.
And so with that fight, anybody, oh yeah, these two guys gonna rumble. You selling it.
Right.
Call it what it is. So now you re-signed with him. You had the opportunity to cross it, even though I ain't like that. Oh, you on the other side of the street stuff. That's why I respect. That's one of the things I respect about Devin Haney. Devin Haney would be a mercenary. He was like, I give you 2 fights, I get y'all 4 fights, I get y'all 1 fight. But if it's a rematch clause, I get y'all another one or whatever. Because I'm gonna see everybody, and I respect that that highly. Mm-hmm. We done talked in private about that. How much that's one of the things I do really admire about right. Devin Haney. But you re-signed with this dude, and now you're in a situation now where it's, now you're with Daniel Kinahan, and we all know what's with the Kinahan family. Mm-hmm. You know, I have little ties to England, and people tell me how things are over there and how certain things work.
Right.
And for people who don't really know about who Daniel Kinahan is, I'll mention one thing without going too deep in it. If y'all remember a few years back, there was a shooting at a weigh-in. Mm-hmm. You can still look it up on it was a Pro Bellum. I think it was a Pro Bellum card, but MTK Global nonetheless. Mm-hmm. And the Kinahan, you know the Hatfield and McCoy story, the Hatfields right. and the McCoys. That's what the Kinahan and the Hutches are right. over there. And some things kicked off. And some people were waiting on him at they did their little thing and tried to do it as smooth as they could, and they was shooting off guns that need 2 hands to hold, and they wasn't holding no 1-hand arm up joints.
Right.
And they had already snuck Daniel Kinahan out the back door right. and got him up out of there because they had already sent someone was about to kick off. That's the type of stuff you're dealing with. Then he got with Tyson Fury. And Tyson Fury has done business with him. I've heard other dealings with other fighters and things like that. I'm not going to get into other stuff that I've been told that's supposed to be factual because, you know, we all got family or friends that do certain things, and I just don't roll like that. Y'all want to know, y'all go look it up yourself. But right, the point being that I don't like is Bobby gets on. He few years ago, oh, Daniel, I love the guy. Oh, man, great negotiations with him. I always like, especially with Tyson and what we do. And he taking pictures up in I think it was Mexico when they was on the balcony with the 3-piece suits on. That
Yeah.
Bama had a badass suit on, man.
Right.
I need to get that velvet coat. But I like 3-piece. I'm a 3-piece guy. You know what I'm saying? You know, but he all of a sudden, soon as everything happens with Fury and not flying and can't do this, can't do that. Oh, I only dealt with Daniel one time. I don't even know the guy.
No, that's that BS, man. That's that BS. If Bobby, I keep calling Bobby because of you.
Bobby.
If Bob Arum is making money, he's happy. If everything's going his way, he's good and happy, man. But as soon as things go south, and all this news came out about Dan Canahan and MTK Global and all that stuff is under wraps. Now he all of a sudden, I don't know about this, I don't know about that. I'm washing my hands with him. But the audacity to wash your hands with it and then throw Terrence under the bus.
There it is. That's what I was about to say.
That's what's crazy. Is how can you throw Terrence under the bus and be like, he's facing U.S. law and law enforcement if he keeps going this route. You know what I'm saying? You're not far removed from all of that yourself. So how can you go ahead and throw Bud up under the bus, man? That's what I'm saying. Like,
he's
Bud,
not my fighter anymore.
He's not his fighter, but Bud definitely got checkmated with this whole situation with top ranking Bob Arum, man. It's sad. It's sad. So now we're looking at, Errol Spence. Are we going to get this fight? How do we get this fight? But with all this stuff going on,
at this point, I don't even care. It's to the point right now. It's basically the whole Floyd Pacquiao thing all over again. I don't care if it happened. It happened. Right now they're still in their primes and their peaks, But I'll give y'all an example real quick. I'm gonna run all of this off the top of my head. Marco Antonio Barrera, Eric Morales, 3 fights. First fight they had, I think Marco Antonio Barrera was 26, and El Terrible was 22, 23. Lights Out Tony, Mr. James, the great James Toney. He fought Michael Nunn and the body snatcher, Mike McCullum. Fought him all back-to-back times. Who else I could think of? One of my dad's close friends he trained with for years, Mr. Ray. Mr. Ray was 20. What did my mom say last night? About 22, 23 years old. El Radar, Wilfred Benitez. Man, you know how I feel about Wilfred Benitez.
Nah,
man. My God, like it was 4 kings.
Boy.
Nah, it was a 5th one, damn it. Go look it up. But Wilfred Benitez was just turning 20 years old.
Right.
With the belt. And fought Ray.
Right.
When Ray was, from the stories I've been told from my dad, from if you guys go research Legendary Nights, any documentary, or just see Tommy and Ray sit down and watch, they said when did they fight again? What was it, 81?
81.
They were supposed to fight in 80. But what happened was Angelo Dundee and Manny Stewart turned the fight down. They both did. Both trainers. No, y'all not fighting each other. Y'all just keep doing what you're supposed to do. Keep stopping y'all opponents. You fight them, then you fight them. Like basically, like, oh well, Tommy stopped them in this round and Ray stopped them in this round and things like keep letting it build. He said I could see it was going to be a big juicy promotion. That was Angelo Dundee's words. But it was only 1 year.
Right.
Of course, back then, Bama was fighting with belts, still fighting 3 times, 4 times a year. But anywho, that is another example. They didn't let it get dried out. Now these days it's getting really dried out now. Even with Mr. Floyd's situation. Why you say about Mr. Floyd or whatever? Because some of y'all, Floyd is your lord. You know who you are. You know who you are.
What we talking crazy on here? Do your thing though. Slipping Counter Podcast, baby.
Hey, like Dusty told him. Hey, like Dusty always say, "Hey man, I could fight. I say what the fuck I want."
Where the horns at? Do. What the horns at?
And I remember Dusty told me, he said, "Don't worry." He because I'm sometimes humble to a fault. Dusty said, "Don't worry. You just ain't you just ain't got to that point in your mind yet." Because he basically telling me. You ain't reached it yet. He's like, I could fight, but I was too humble to a fault.
Yeah.
And Dusty was like, Just give it enough time. You're gonna get to that point too.
Nah, for sure, for sure.
But for a lot of people, Floyd is your Lord. You know who you are. And he, whether it was blood tests, drug tests, steroids, whatever, I still had Floyd spanking the hell out of Pacquiao, whether it was 23, 33, 38, 43, don't matter. Floyd would have spanked him. That's what pissed me off, that the fight wasn't made sooner. That it was always some, oh, well, you know, the blood test, drug test, this, that, and the third. And he, with Bob Arum and all this other stuff, it's starting to become now in the fight game where it's always something. That's one thing that you said that I always, and I want you to go ahead and repeat what you said last night about the UFC. One of the things that you appreciate with the UFC, because I agree with you 100%.
Yeah, so what I was saying about the UFC, I appreciate and I really love how they'll have the top guy to be number 1 versus number 2. There's not too many negotiation things going on, probably because it's only Dana White at the top of that pyramid, right? It's pretty much Dana White. It all trickles down from there. Right, so Dana White, he's making these fights happen. Number 1, number 2, boom. Number 3 and number 5 to see who's going to fight number 2, and then they fight number 1. And you know, it doesn't matter how many losses these guys got. Like Nate Diaz, multiple losses on his record. But whenever Nate Diaz steps into that octagon, I bet you he's selling out an arena. I guarantee.
He's Gabe Rosado.
He's the Gabe Rosado. That's why that's the appreciation I have for the UFC. I think in boxing it's harder because we got so many different promoters. We got DAZN, we got Matchroom, we got Showtime, PBC, ESPN, Top Rank. It's so many different things going on in boxing. It's hard, you know, to kind of make these fights happen and get these paydays and get these champions fighting each other. And then to your other point you made, how certain networks like to hold on to certain groups of fighters and certain belts. Once they get them, that's their bargaining power. You know what I'm saying? So it's a lot of negotiation.
I saw that, engineer. I saw that.
No follies. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, it's a whole lot of things that play into this. You know what I'm saying? But I'm gonna disagree with you a little bit on the age limit of Terrence Crawford and Errol Spence. Is the negotiation? Is it frustrating? I feel your frustration. Is it frustrating that we ain't got this fight yet? Hell to the yeah. Should have been had this fight. Do I still want to see this fight? Hell yeah. At 147, that's the fight to be made. That's the fight that has to happen. Is it being drug out? Hell yes. But for me, I still want to see that fight. I'll take this fight this year or next year or the year after that. I'm going to take this fight. It has to happen. Because there's so many young guys coming up at 147 too.
Yeah.
Boots,
few of them
Virgil,
fighting tonight. Yeah.
Yeah, fighting tonight. You know what I'm saying? That, you know, we need to see who's going to shake out at the top so we can see who these young guys going to shake out and fare out against. You know what I'm saying?
But, Bink, wouldn't you have wished to seen this fight 2 years ago?
I would have wished.
So now let's look at what's happened in the past 2-3 years. Bud re-signs with Top Rank, correct?
Right.
Earl gets into a horrific accident.
Man.
And I don't know how the hell he walked away from that, man.
God.
Lord,
that was God himself.
Bruh, and you know, and he's actually gotten more disciplined since. Remember, he used to blow up. Remember, you saw that video, that classic video of Tank and Bunny.
They was both fat.
Bruh, Cabbage Patch Kids. My goodness. Build-A-Bears. But you had, it was Bunny, Truth, and Tank all right there. And how big, you know, EJ was a little inebriated. Tank was a little, and Twin. I think Twin was in the video too. I think, you know, all of them, all 4 of them.
Yeah.
Well, how they vision was, he probably was 8. But you know, what happened with them, you know, it kind of forced with this now, him getting his ranch, that solitude, you know, it's kind of like, remember how peaceful I came, even though I was still dealing with like how peaceful I came home after being in the country and everything. Yeah, it's kind of like that. He became more somber. He's been more disciplined. But then what happened next? Detached retina. Or retinal tear, something like that happened.
Yeah, the retinal tear, yeah.
So now, and then Bud resigns with Top Rank. So what happens now? What happens now if this fight happens? If this fight happened a few years ago, there would have been, and let's say Bud beat him, there would have been talks on the low of under the table of, well, you know, Spence be drinking, you know, in between fights, man, blowing up, you know, he didn't stay in the gym. That also was a one-up for Bud in the later rounds. This is one of the reasons why Bud got him. And if Earl would have beat him, even if Earl beats him now, beats Bud, people gonna say, well, you know, Bud kind of shortened himself up by re-signing with Top Rank, gave away a couple more of his prime, you know, championship rounds by re-signing or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And then if Bud beats him now, it's gonna be, well, you know, he slightly wasn't the same after that eye injury. He slightly wasn't right anymore after what he went through with his body and all that stuff. We still don't know what internally went on with him, because your body might look one way, but on the inside, different things change, you know, with different accidents, things like that. You don't know what possibly would be said,
right?
You know, and now it's worse because of these events.
Right. Now, I feel you on that. I feel you on that.
One more thing. Who's to say? I've noticed it all through the amateurs and through his whole pro career. Whenever you hit Earl in a certain spot, his whole body freezes or whatever.
Like yeah.
And it seemed like it's worse now. And to me, I don't think it matters. But now you got more people really gonna say, well, you know, Sister Carson, you never know. He's maybe didn't take a good punch anymore. You know, different things like that. It's just so much now that just clogs up the sink.
There's a lot of extra variables into this fight. A lot of things, you know, people could, like you said, make excuses for each fighter for why they won or lost the fight. But I kind of like this post car accident era. You know
he looks great.
He looked great. His body's in shape. His power's still there. I don't like what he did against you guys in spurts. When he's throwing his right hook and his left hand is too low. When he's working on the inside, that's something that Terrence definitely will capitalize off of early.
When that left hand land,
when he dropped his left hand to throw his right hook, Earl. Remember when you guys called him and put him into the ropes?
Oh,
he knocked out his mouthpiece.
Yes. Yeah. Froze him. His whole body froze.
Right. His left hand was low during those exchanges. He got caught with a couple of those against you guys. Terrence got more pop than what he's giving credit for. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I think that could be an exclamation point for Crawford and getting the victory over Earl. And you heard Derek James saying he came out last week talking about, you know, if we get this fight, like, we got to push. You know, Earl definitely got to push to get this victory.
I one up you on it.
What's up?
Remember after the Ugas fight, this is Earl. He said that was beautiful. Derek James, now I think I need you to really stay focused. Now you really got to stay focused,
right?
And get back in the gym and
right.
You know, and I felt like he said that because of past.
And he lost his focus a couple times during that fight, letting his hands go, going for his mouthpiece after he got knocked out of his mouth. You know what I'm saying? Turning his back on his opponent. Small things that he did. That Bud, a guy that's a natural puncher that can punch from off of the back foot, front foot. He can punch moving to the side. You know, he can punch stepping back at any angle. You can't afford to make those minute mistakes against Terrence Crawford, because he will find a way to capitalize. He's a guy that's a natural fighter. You know what I'm saying? Now I'm gonna ask you one more question.
Shoot.
We do get the fight. Who wins this fight and why?
I still gotta watch more tape, bro. I gotta watch more tape, man. Cause it's so many variables, bro. It's so many variables that you gotta look at with that old fight. It's so many variables, and how things can go and what can be capitalized and things like that. We talked about it a little bit with the AIBA world champ Jamal Harvey last week about, you know, different things and how the rounds may play a factor and things of that nature, you know. But that's a whole nother 20 minutes worth of 10 minutes at least worth of talking. I don't even feel like doing it, to be honest with you, because it feel like it's a waste of my time until can we at least hear some plausible message? Like right now, Ryan and Tank, they're in light talks right now. Nothing seriously on paper, but Espinoza said that, I think it was Espinoza said, man, it's still a lot of heavy hurdles we got to jump before we even get close for this to happen. You know, I'd rather get to that point, then we come back to that part of the topic.
Hey guys, that's the fighter in him. That's the fight. I'm still trying to break him into the media, the boxing fan side of boxing, where we just talk about this stuff regardless of what's going on. But we gonna get him there. This guy he's still a fighter. He always gonna be a fighter first. He always gonna be a fighter first. Man. Was a hell of a fighter at that, guys. But
I asked, how did I do in the Spawn video? My first one back.
You did good, man. You did real good. Look
Saw
sharp.
A lot of mistakes.
Look good on the jump rope. You was killing the jump rope. You know what I'm saying? The fit was tough too. We ain't gonna go into no detail, but the fit was tough. The tongue on your boots was in the right spot. You got the right trunks on. Your socks is at the right height.
Hey,
Everything was good. Everything was good for that.
I ain't take no
training
stupid
session.
punishment.
Ain't take no stupid punishment. Defense was there.
All right.
You was rolling the shoulder beautiful.
Southpaw, I switched southpaw.
Yeah, you switched southpaw.
But you remember the comment somebody said, everybody hyper Junior, but Junior and his father probably see like 100 mistakes. And I was like, nah, bro, you was telling me, but you look smooth, man. I think I did this wrong. I think I did that wrong.
Man, shit. For just coming back, you know, you look good to me. You look good to me.
I appreciate it, man.
For sure.
Yeah, it's to me,
it's too early to talk about.
The fighter first part come from is to this right here. What we get to, who you think gonna win? That's useless chatter to me. Mm-hmm. That's one of the things I learned with my father. Like, it's just the point is useless chatter. Ain't nothing going on. Now we get to, like I said about the Tank and Ryan thing, where it's at least some light negotiations going on. And maybe we could touch on it a little bit, but ain't nothing. What's the point? What's the point?
Content, baby.
What content? You can't even get these guys to. It's starting to look like Danny Romero and Johnny Tapia. They almost waited almost the same amount of time to fight, but it's still so heavily like that. Go look up what happened with Johnny Tapia and Danny Romero, like how that build up and what happened with them fighting each other, and they had to get it away from Albuquerque because of the gang stuff and move it to Vegas at UNLV at the Thomas and Mack Center because of the gang stuff. They had my man, y'all just gotta go read, go watch, go look at the relationship with Danny Romero and Albuquerque and how people love Johnny and how people kind of like Danny, but felt Danny was a spoiled brat and all that stuff. Man, go watch that. Go read and watch that, man. That was something else.
No, for sure.
God, but yeah, that waited a while too, and it's just starting to touch the same. It's like
I understand. It's frustrating, especially somebody that's been in the sport as long as you've been in the sport and seen and know as much as you know about the sport. It's definitely frustrating. But from my perspective, I'm gonna flip the lens to just being a pure boxing fan. I'm like one of those guys that sit down on Sunday. For example, like the NFL guys, NFL Network, they got the NFL Red Zone on the other TV, and they sit down drinking their Bud Light, and they just watching all the games. You know what I'm saying? That's how I feel about boxing. So things may not materialize for me, but it's still fun to talk about because I love talking boxing.
Of course.
You know that's how a lot of boxing fans approach these topics, you know. Things might not be happening, but it's always cool to talk about like fantasy fights or like, you know, comparing Michael Vick to whoever. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, hold on. I think we getting the signal. We getting the signal.
Okay,
I think
okay.
We got to get ready
we got our special guest in the building?
Yes, indeed. So you know what? This is what we going to do. We going to hit Mr. We going to see. Wait.
We got it in the building. We got RIANNA RIOS in the building. Oh,
the real
shucks.
double R. Yes, indeed.
Shucks.
Yes, indeed. Man, I got to, man. I got to stand up for this.
Stand up for this one.
Oh, yes, indeed.
What's up?
Oh man, my dad was that. My dad and Bubbles met you down at No Excuse Monday. They was doing the mix, and then he was like, man, real I can finally see you at the fights. So I didn't get the chance to talk to you, but yeah, this is dope. Yeah, it's dope to finally meet you, man.
Indeed, for sure. Your headphones are right there under the table. Sorry for the echoing in the microphone.
Was my bad.
He can't get it done. He do this every time he get on the mic.
I've been trying. Matter of fact, now you got me on the try it again. Hold on, wait a minute.
There we go. There we go.
Yeah.
So like we said, we got a special guest on.
Oh.
I'm gonna let you do your thing. Go ahead, do your thing. Don't be scared.
Yeah, I'm still nervous. I'm trying to still get better. Aquí está una perspectiva. A futura campeona, la reina de beltweight boxing, the real double R, RIANNA RIOS. It's an honor. Yes, did I do okay?
Yeah, that was good. That was better than mine.
Yes, sir, man. We got RIANNA RIOS in the building. How you been?
Good.
You been good?
Good.
That's what's up. So you got anything for it, bro? I'm still trying to figure this stuff out.
You gonna let me run it?
Yeah, go ahead.
Let me run it?
Go ahead.
Oh, yes.
Run your stuff.
So my dad he came down in the gym. I'll show you a picture of him later. You might remember. He was like, yeah, she was really nice and everything, real cool. My dad and Bubbles had came down there and did some mid work, and that's when they had met you. And then I finally got to see you fight. I think it was the girl from Philly again. And the way I feel about watching you fight, especially now, honestly, I was always taught you always trying to be till the day you retire or become a trainer or whatever, you're trying to be the best complete pro you can be, complete fighter you could be. And I remember the great Customato used to say, it's not that early in your career you fight tomato cans, it's how you get rid of them. And from your pro debut all the way, I didn't make it to the pro debut, but I saw the tapes and the highlights. Then I was there for the rest of them. You've gotten better each fight. It's not just, okay, another prospect, stop somebody. Your placement shots, stepping over on the right foot, cutting someone off, the stabs to the body, really punching through the target at the body, certain shots that you're throwing. Your C pattern, well, everybody ain't no excuse. They known for their C pattern. Lord have mercy. Everybody ain't no excuse. Known for their C pattern. But your C pattern, your calmness as adapting to being a pro, walking your guy down, not rushing, not just, going straight ahead or things like that. Just all of these little aspects, tiny thing, even on the inside, I've seen you drop your weight on people now a little more in clinches. I've seen you sit there and, okay, she got me locked up now, I'm gonna just lean on her a little more. Walker, those little things. Then all of a sudden, as soon as you push her off, letting her purposely go ahead, I'm gonna let you go. I'm a purpose. Even given, I've seen you start to do throwaway shots now, where you'll sit there, reach a little bit, make her, I can't get you. Oh, yeah, you good, you safe. We'll go this way, go this way. And next thing you know, slide and purposely, not even, instead of throwing the leaping hook, just slide over, use your foot to cut them off, and you stabbing them right here, stab them under the lung. I've seen that your shots ain't just going to the abs anymore. Now I'm starting to see your body just go under the floating ribs, under the lung, under the heart. Those are the type of things that, coming from old school trainers, that I look for, and I'm enjoying watching you do now. How you placing these shots and using your height to your advantage. I meant what I said when I introduced it. I just put it that way.
Thank you. I appreciate that. That's the name of the game, though. We boxing, yeah, but it's not just fighting. Like, people think you in there, you just trying to knock somebody out. And yeah, these girls, these women I'm fighting right now are supposed to be building me up. We're looking to get them out of there, but we're trying to do it in a way that I'm still showing skills. Because I could go in there and throw about 50 punches real quick and get them out, but I'm not learning, I'm not growing, right? Type of thing. So, like, the things we're learning and doing in the gym, I'm trying to implement them each and every fight. So, like you said, if you watch my pro debut fight, I was throwing a lot of punches, but there was like no placement behind it. Right. I was just trying to score punches because I was coming out of the
amateurs. Preach. Tell these people, thank you.
Right. Just throwing a lot of punches, not worried about placing, picking my shots, things like that. And from my pro debut up until now, you'll be able to see the difference as far as, like, I'm placing punches, I'm sitting on them. I'm not just pity patting to score punches and get in and out. Right. So, thank you for noticing the growth.
Hell yeah.
Man, that's one thing we said at your last fight. I looked at him, I said, she got better. You wasn't wasting no punches. I said, she deserves to be on. Somebody need to sign her. She need to be on Top Rank somewhere, getting that Michaela Mayer and them. That's where she need to be. I said, she's outgrown this right now.
It's coming. Yeah. But when you fought the last matter of fact, let's rewind it back to when you say you pro debut. You fought the girl from Philly twice, I think, right?
Yeah, I fought twice. Yeah.
So, and that girl from Philly's strong. Yeah, she's tough. She's tough. The thing I took away from those fights was you stayed calm. Cause sometimes, and that's why I'm glad I have somebody on here who, like, cause he's quiet as his kept, he played football on a very high level. When you got boxing, and next contact thing you think of is hockey, football, things of that nature. And we all here can relate to, whether it's football or boxing, you could lose 3 rounds worth of energy just from the ring walk. Just from the anxiety of the ring walk and everything going on, and having to slow it down in your mind. When the first round you walk off, relax. You might throw 3 fast shots out of a shotgun just to relax and get into the groove of things. And you was still I done seen situations exactly similar to you fighting the girl from Philly, and that prospect kind of erodes a little bit. They start to get sloppier. They start to because now they got somebody in front of them that isn't just gonna fall and is throwing some good shots back or trying to throw hard stuff back. And it's like, hold on, this ain't what's supposed to be going on. They mentally break a little bit, and you didn't do that. You was still calm, took controlled your breathing. Even when I saw you was in the clinch, it was. And then once they separated. Then you went right, took 2 bounces. You was right back here. How you was picking, how you breathed, and all this. How you made sure, okay, am I safe in this clinch to breathe, just in case you don't try to catch me with nothing stupid or sneak some. I saw that. Just those. So it still was good things that was beautiful from that. But with that last fight, that's fucked up. Why you do that, though?
Yeah, she broke her down. Something
Why you
vicious.
do that?
Part of the sport, though. You know?
No. Come here. All right, come
You feel bad afterwards.
Yeah, all right,
That's your job. You know?
Nah, for real.
Look, Double R, we here. Right now. All right, it's nobody else. It's just me. We here. Damn well, that stab to the body, you gonna have her pissing blood for about a week. You knew what you was doing, right?
It's part of the sport, right? That's what they signed up for.
I mean, I was sitting there like, me and Brandon and BINK, I said, man, this girl can't stand us. And my father was right there. I've seen so many fights since he was a kid. My father was sitting there watching.
Right.
Good. And you know how my father is. All right, yep, this is over. He said, man, this is over. I'm going home, man. So I see you at the house. He always said, nah, this girl can't change the tide. She ain't letting her foot off the gas anyway. That other girl ain't gonna change the tide. And that girl when really all the girl had to do was relax, try to counter your jab, punch in between your shots, and spin off to try to even the tide a little more. But the shots that was sitting downward wasn't just hard shots. It was shots that it's lingering with you a little bit. And the main one was the stabs to the body. That was really what was staying there more than I think the head shots.
Just, breaking them down, right? It's small shots, picking and choosing. She was moving so much, I had to stop her, put her in a place where I could reach, because I was the shorter one, obviously, like always. But I was just stabbing. We working on that in the gym, right, to make her stop, because she was just moving. So it's part of the game plan, and that's what we do. We do it in the gym, and then we implement it in there. And some of the times I don't even be thinking, it just be coming.
It's natural. It's coming off natural, huh?
Right? Yeah. We've done it so much in the gym. Come fight time, everything just
flows. Yep.
It's just flowing. Muscle memory. When I knocked her down, I didn't even know the combination I threw until I went back and watched the tape.
It was vicious.
I knew I landed the left hand, but the punches before that set that left hand up. So like the stab to the body, it's just setting shots up, right? So it may not be a hard stab, but it's just enough to where she's like, okay, she might come down here again. Let me put my elbows in a little tighter. Let me drop my hands a little more. So start picking it up to the top. Not
just that, but what you threw froze her for everything else. Because every time that girl made a mistake where she slid down the ropes and moved, whenever she stopped pointing her shoulder and would do this and square up, immediately you just instinctually, because sometimes when you fight, it's like 50% let it flow, 50% think. And I know as soon as she would make the mistake and square off again like this, pop, boom, pop, boom, pop, boom,
that's the target, right?
Every single time. Like, okay, you giving it to you, keep squaring off. Bounce that. And I want to see if I'm right when I say this. You froze her with the stab, which led to the other shots. But did you hear her go that little sound like, and then everything else just she can't move. People don't know, when you get somebody with his ear, or you hit their lung and their heart skip a beat, or if you hit them in the solar plex, or you hit them in the floating ribs, or you hit them in the liver, and you make the blood squirt out the liver, and if they've been drinking too much soda or different things like that, or yeah, for real, like or
I hope she wasn't drinking soda.
For real,
yeah, or drinking coffee and putting too much milk in it instead of it being just black coffee. That's where you get them liver shots. That blood squirt. Any of those body shots I mentioned, they freeze. All of a sudden, once you see them go, or they freeze, and next thing you know, everything, and then all of a sudden, double R come, boom, 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 and everything was right there.
Right. She does beautiful work, y'all. Very beautiful work. But for y'all who don't know her, I want to ask you a few questions about what got you into boxing. What was your amateur career like, and being in the military? Like, how was that for you?
My amateur career was, I pretty much did everything you could possibly do as an amateur.
Mm-hmm.
The only thing I didn't do was make an Olympic team.
Right.
I competed at Olympic trials, seeded #1 for 2020 Olympic trials, but I turned pro right before trials, and then COVID happened.
Right.
So it slowed it down a little bit, the momentum and all that. Had I stayed amateur, I would have made the Olympic team, you know.
Right.
But I decided it was time to turn pro. I was getting complacent with where I was in the amateurs, and wanted something new, something different. And I was winning, so I wanted to carry that momentum into the pro ranks. And I'm not signed or nothing like that, you know.
Not yet.
Not
right,
yet.
it's coming though.
Yeah, so I got to make my pro debut on a GOLDENBOY card. So that was good. Started off great, but COVID happened, slowed things down. Not many promoters looking to sign people. So luckily, I have a good team behind me, a good manager, Coach Lamont Roach.
Right.
You know, he's putting on these shows, so that way I'm able to showcase my skills and my talent and all the hard work we've been putting in the gym. So without Coach Lamont, I don't think I would be on these main event cards right now.
Right.
You know? So he's moving me in a good direction. Looking forward to being a world champion sooner rather than later. That's for sure. Because
Campeona del mundo.
Right. So that's what we're looking towards. But as far as being in the Army, you know, I joined the Army right after high school. As soon as I graduated, I left to basic training, but solely to box. Like,
oh, you went to the military to box?
To box.
Okay.
Yeah. That's what I joined the Army World Class Athlete Program. So I think I placed like second at nationals that year. My first time being elite, you know. So they picked me up right away. They signed me. You know, all I had to do was graduate basic training and AIT, so like job training. So I was an engineer.
Okay.
I didn't get to do it too much
Because
I was
fighting.
boxing. Yeah.
Right.
So I did 4 years active duty. I extended for another year just so I could do the Army stuff. You know, like actually experience real Army life type thing. So I did that for a year, and decided it was time to get out.
Yeah.
You know, I wanted to do different things, and you can't do a whole lot in the Army while you're pursuing boxing, school, and things like that. So, but amazing experience. Definitely learned a lot. Met a lot of cool people that are like my brothers and sisters to this day.
Right.
But yeah, man, it was a great experience. You know, I miss it sometimes. You know, don't get me wrong, I miss it, but definitely wouldn't go back.
No, I feel the same way. I served too. I was in the Navy. I did 4 years in the Navy. Okay. So I definitely relate to that. Like I miss it. I got a lot of good friends. That's one thing. If you join the military, you're going to make lifelong friends, brothers and sisters. Family. For sure. Family. It's definitely a family environment. But I don't think I would go back. I like where I'm at now.
Right.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, but it was good. I mean, it's not for everyone, right? So, but good experience, good life. You learn a lot.
No, for sure.
Right. You learn a lot of life lessons. You grow up fast. You know, especially leaving right after high school.
I was gonna say, yeah.
You know, like you ain't got mom and dad there no more. Learning what it is to buy food on your own and
go to the grocery store.
Go to the grocery store, buying your toilet paper, toothpaste, all that stuff. You know, you don't think about it when you living with your parents or like just random things. You know, like
yeah, life hits you hard.
Yeah, like. Damn, I ain't never bought no shampoo for myself. You know what I mean?
Right.
You read the back of the label like a ball.
No, for sure. You be calling back home like, what is this? What I do with this? What's this? What kind of laundry detergent should I be putting? Do I wash the whites with the darks? Right.
You know, luckily my parents, they were all on discipline and things like that. You know, my father, strict.
Right.
So I had the foundation already.
Been there.
You know, strict parents don't do much, but the foundation was already there, so it wasn't too bad. But I seen a lot of friends struggle on that part of just leaving the house.
Yeah.
You
Oh
So,
yeah.
yeah.
I gotta ask you, what made you turn? What made you turn before the trials? 'Cause I had other friends who turned like after the trial, things like that. But instead of going for the team, sometimes it's because of an offer, sometimes it was because of a multitude of things. But what was some of them felt like, man, my style is not gonna work in the Olympics or whatever. Or just it's so many different things. I could think of so many friends on them. But what was your reason for, you know what? Go to the trials, but you know I'm a probably turn. I'm gonna go and make the decision to turn.
I actually wasn't thinking of turning pro.
I'm gonna come to the mic just a little bit closer. I'm sorry.
Yeah, like I wasn't. I was in a place like I had just gotten out of the army,
Yeah.
and I was like going through some things of finding out like what I was gonna do, how I was gonna do it, things like that. And I had just moved out here to the DMV, and I was just going through some things, you know, like
Yeah.
going back and forth between the two. And did I really want to keep doing it? Did I want to hang them up? Did I just want to be a regular person and enjoy life, you know? But I decided I was just gonna stop boxing. So I was actually in camp with Team USA getting ready for an international competition, and I did like a week or two of training, and it's like, I'm not feeling it. Like, you have to be mentally prepared. Like, you can be in shape physically, doing good, training wise and things like that, but if your mentality ain't there,
You just going through the motions.
Yeah, you get your ass kicked. You know what I mean? So I was like, it's time to go. Time to hang him up, do something different, focus on school. You know, I was just had recently gotten married. Okay. So I was like, I want to enjoy my family, you know, while I still can, while we're still here. And yeah, so I decided to hang him up. I told the coaches, you know, thank you for the opportunity, but it's time for me to do something different. But I got that itch. You know, like I was missing it, the training, the
process.
Yeah, like going through camp and growing and seeing the changes and things like that. And I love boxing so much. I was missing it. Like,
training camp, being with your teammates,
yeah,
and
your coaches
it's hard.
Yeah, it sucked.
I know what you're talking about.
I was in the dumps, you know, like
no, for sure.
Depression, anxiety, all that stuff. And I was like, man, I got to get back in the ring.
Right, that's where your piece is at.
Yeah, you know, I got to get back, but I didn't want to do the amateur things anymore, you know. So talked to Coach Lamar, who was like, "You're gonna make the Olympic team. Just keep working, keep working." I was like, "Nah, I think it's time to turn pro." And he was like, "Are you sure? Like, you're gonna be an Olympian. You come out of the Olympics, you're gonna have some offers." But at the end of the day, I was like, "Nah, it's time to go. Time to move up into the pro ranks and get a world title." So he said, "Okay, I got you. You know, get your weight down. Let's get in shape. Let's get in fighting shape." And he got me a spot on the Goldenboy card. So.
And that's good that
I remember that
it's
fight actually.
it's no excuse, because she could have, let's say if Double R would have turned, but she had I'm trying to think, because I was at Hillcrest, you know, we had Jared, Blaze, all of them or whatever. So it's basically the same process where, you know, okay, we have an established pro, we have another prospect, an amateur prospect. So there, she don't have to. She's not necessarily going in it alone, in a sense, turning pro. She's still gonna have a superstar type of status. They're gonna make sure they move her upright, things like that. Because there's some guys that have that exact same story. They turn pro and they wind up ending up like Emmanuel Augustus, or they end up like Stephon McIntyre, guys that you know that can go. But they didn't have a team, no excuse that, all right, we're going to make sure we got you. Don't worry about it. We got you. Even if it's the local cause, we move you up, we got you. Right. They ain't just sitting there. Am I making sense? Like, like
he already knew the process.
Yeah, it was a better safety net to make sure, okay, I'm safe to move up the right way. I'm not just out here.
You're definitely doing it the right way. Right, and I think another good thing for you is what women's boxing is right now. It's on such a high. You coming in at the right time to really make waves and take over. So let me ask you about that. So How do you feel about women's boxing and you know, how the women are getting more respect, getting more? We just had Katie Taylor and Amanda Serrano sell out the arena.
Yeah.
How do you feel about that? How did that make you feel?
It was good, you know, like
Mhm.
when I first started boxing, there wasn't too many.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you had Christy Martin and Wolf,
Mm-hmm.
Layla Ali, you know, you had the big ones,
Right.
but they had no platform to perform on. You know,
No
they
real
were
sponsorships like
yeah,
that, none
you know,
like that.
they were making it out the struggle themselves, you know. They
Yeah.
were getting the sponsorships that they needed for themselves and things like that, selling tickets to get paid. And
If they got paid,
right,
Mhm.
right. By the
Call
end
it.
by the end of the fight, you got to pay your trainers,
Mm-hmm.
your depending on the uniform you wear, your outfit, you got to
Right.
pay your medicals, all that stuff. So all that stuff adds up. So I'm sure they weren't making too much.
Right.
Go back to what you just said and pay for your medicals, folks. And sometimes that's a ploy, because some promoters, they supposed to take care of that for you, because they're basically asking you to come perform for them. Like, side story, it was a fighter who came and fought on a card here, and they was telling us about how he was telling us a story about how he fought somewhere else, and he got there, he had his hotel room or whatever. When after he fought, he's like, wait a minute, this isn't what I was supposed to make. He said, oh, I had to pay for your medicals, and you asked for $200 for food and all this other stuff to feed your team. And I was like, wait a minute, I'm supposed to come here to fight for your car. You supposed to take care of that. It ain't supposed to come out of my purse. You know, that's the types of or people like Ann Wolf fighting 8 rounders and getting 1,500. 8 rounders, 10 rounders, folks. You know, so that, and when it comes to you, and I could see same level as Sinisa Estrada, Miss Raquel Miller, Miss Michaela, just the list goes on and on. Miss Franchon, hey big sis, oh, so many people. Miss Clarissa, all Baby Tech Jada, Zarina McCoy, all of them. Like, I honestly, and I feel like with your skill sets a little bit more sharper than some of them at a certain point, at a certain level, when they were at your level. I could line it up. I can definitely see you fighting at MSG or fighting at Barclays and having them on. You keep staying on the way that you're staying on, and adding this to the game, adding that to the game, and okay, maybe I could put this into my repertoire. I could do this, all that stuff. It's coming.
It's coming, yeah, right. But them pioneers, you know, they started it, and then Clarissa came out the Olympics, 2-time gold medalist. You know, she demanded what she's getting right now. You know, she demanded that. She ain't asked for it. She demanded it. You know
and
what
rubbed
I mean?
people the wrong way because she stood up for herself.
Hey, but she has to, you know.
Yeah.
Right.
She had to. She had to get to that platform. Because had she been a male, she'd be top rank main event every couple months.
Right.
Tell it.
You know. And Michaela came out the Olympics as well, doing big things, signing with Top Rank. You know, first female. Sinisa Estrada. You know, she was with Golden Boy for a little bit, but I'm assuming they weren't paying her, so now she's over at Top Rank. So, you know, Amanda Serrano been a pioneer as well. So we starting to demand things now, and you see it. You see it. You see it. Main events selling out. It's only a matter of time before you see full female cards. I would say.
Hope so.
You know, but yeah, it's great to see. You know, I grew up in the amateurs with Clarissa.
Okay.
You know, we were the same age up until she started going to Olympics, and you know, so it's nice to see her doing those things. You know, big shout out to her for doing that and putting women's boxing on the map.
For sure.
You know, and then you have other women like Franchon Cruz. You know, she didn't get that Olympic medal, but she's out here putting on a show, showcasing women's boxing. Marlene Esparza was one of them who got a bronze medal out there in the Olympics. Came back, signed with Golden Boy. So it's starting, it's building up, you know, and by the time you know it, it's going to be an even playing field for the men and the women.
Oh, for sure. Where do you put yourself in that mix with because right now I've got you at the top. I know you ain't there yet, but when I look at your style and what you bring to the ring, I've been telling him for a minute.
Prospect.
A top prospect. You are a top prospect. I can see you by the end of the year maybe getting a shot at one of these top ranked cards or Golden Boy cards.
That's the plan.
Where do you put yourself in that mix?
I mean, I'm up there.
Yeah.
I'm up there. I just haven't gotten the platform to showcase it yet. And that's why we're fighting on these local cards that Coach Lamont's throwing for me to be able to showcase these skills. So that way when the time comes and someone needs that name, with a little amateur background and someone to use to build up one of their fighters.
Pull the Jared Hurd card, come into the
they
joint,
call us and we're ready to go.
For sure.
So even if I don't get up to that top ranked Golden Boy Matchroom platform, sometime soon they're gonna have to call me to get a name on one of their girls' records. Right. And that'll be the day.
That'll be the day somebody strap getting took, huh?
Right. And then they have no choice but to fight.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? So it's just keep doing what I'm doing. Getting my name up there. In the rankings, because it's not too hard to get a world title shot in the female.
I was gonna say that next,
because you've seen that one girl Sinisa put out in like
4 or 5 seconds, something like that.
Something
yeah.
like that, All she had was an undefeated record.
Man, don't bring that
up. As long as I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing, eventually it's gonna come.
Right.
And if we gotta go kick down some doors and start talking, then that's what's gonna come too. But it'll come, I'm just gonna stay the course and keep listening, keep doing what I'm doing. That title's gonna come.
For sure. I ain't gonna ask you to call out no names, but you said you want a world title. At what weight class and what title do you want?
Right now I'm boxing at 118.
Okay.
I'd like to win a title at 115 first.
Okay.
Since I was a little kid, the WBC belt was the belt for me. Like I would make it on a cardboard box, walk around with it, that type of thing.
Yeah.
But WBC belt at 115, I don't know who has it. I don't know who carries any of these titles.
Let me see. We can pull it up right now. Pull it up right now.
I got you. While he look it up, I want to say this to you. I heard everything you saying, but y'all shouldn't have to demand. They shouldn't have to demand to have this, because I'm going to keep it all the way tall for y'all. I take pride in having I don't have kids, but I have my boys, my twin nephews, and I take pride in when they with me, and I can say, you see her right there? That's RIANNA RIOS. She the main event. Oh, she the main? Yeah. I take pride in that. But and it's a damn shame for me to see the girls that are either in my area or I actually trained with, and they put on a better fight, skill set wise, rumbling wise, whatever way you want to put it, boxing or banging, anyway, skill from round 1 to the time till it's over, bringing it, and they putting on a better show sometimes than these men who getting paid 3 times more than them for the same rounds. They shouldn't have to demand that. I remember one time I said, my godbrother, when Sweet G was on the Olympic team and Allen was on the national team, all these different things, a lot of things taken care of. You just, medical, food, you staying at the dorm, all these things. But here's the kicker. You know why Double R said what she said about Clarissa, how she had to demand this and demand that? Y'all should really appreciate it. Even Savannah Marshall, too. Y'all should appreciate them. You know why? Because they could have stayed amateur and fought till they were 32 in the amateurs in the Olympics and got paid under the table, because you're not supposed to get paid as an amateur, but we all know since way back in the day when my dad was an amateur, they'll kick you something under the table. Everything is basically free and taken care of for you. Injury, we got you. You going down to MedVec building, they take care of you, you good.
You ain't gotta pay for nothing.
Nothing.
Everything is there for you. Training, coaches,
whatever you need.
Whatever you need.
You want to go to the game room, clothes, boxing boots.
Yeah. And it's you get to do what you love.
All day.
While you're taking care of, you ain't got no worries in the world. And that was
it's
a
bubble.
Amateur. Yeah.
You live in a bubble.
Traveling the world, training camps, different countries.
Preach.
Tournaments, things like that. It's all paid for. That's why people stay amateur for so long, because they ain't got to worry about it.
Look at Nuke. Look at Nuke. Look at Nuke. Rashid Warren. He stayed amateur for that man went 3 times. 3.
That's a lot.
And by the time when he first went to his first Olympics, he was a baby. By the time he got to his third Olympics, he was a grown man with a house, wife, and kids. You got Cuban fighters and so many other countries that they fight. I think the limit in the Olympics is like 32 in the amateurs or something like that. I forget.
40 now.
40 now? Damn.
Yeah,
I remember when it was 32.
Yeah,
Man.
Because I remember
40.
I remember they had gave the I think it was, I'm not sure if it was 08 or 12, but it was a Cuban fighter. He was with Rigan Diao and all of them. And it was his last, he was 32. And then he was that was gonna be his last Olympics. So they kept him on the podium to give him a standing ovation for all the years he stayed amateur and fought. So then they done moved it to 40. But
That's
the thing
why.
is,
That's why, because a lot of the greats, you know, they want to keep staying in the amateurs, so that they pushed it also for safety reasons, because we were 17,
Right.
16, 17 fighting
grown
people,
man.
you know?
For sure.
So
For sure.
Sparring them, fighting them, you be like, sometimes you sitting there getting ready to go fight, you be like, especially when you turn open, you just, you know, you used to the game, you know, yeah, I'm about to get ready, you sitting there relaxing. But then things change when you turn open, or you start, like me, I had an illness, so I didn't get the chance to fight, so I stayed, but I was still in top training camp sparring, you know, top guys. The thing is, you sitting there, you look, is that, I'm 18, I'm 17. He got 2 kids and a what? What the? I'm fighting a grown man. What the? Like that changed your
whole mentality. Because back then there was no youth division.
No.
Like nowadays you have, what is it, 17 to 18?
The U19s.
You have the youth. You know, back then once you turned 17 or your
it was
birthday,
a wrap, bro.
or your birthday fell on that year that you were turning, you were 16, but your birthday was in October.
Yeah, you was in there, huh?
You was in the 17 and 30s.
Was no turning back.
No turning back.
That
happened to me my first USA Nationals.
Oh, I want to hear this.
I was like 6. I had just turned 17, I think, and my father was like, this is when they were just opening up the youth division, I think, or the year before or something. I was like, well, I'm about to fight these grown women, you know?
Right.
And my first fight, I pulled Christina Cruz.
Ooh.
Damn.
I don't know how many time USA national champion.
Right.
I was like, well, damn.
Some bullshit.
You know, we came all the way up here. And we pulled the #1 seed.
Yeah.
And we fought.
Shit,
I wasn't gonna not fight, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I got great experience in fighting her, but I was a baby.
Right.
You know what I mean? And you step up and you're like, damn, I gotta fight.
Uh-huh.
I was just taking a picture with her because I was a fan.
Fan, right.
And
now you got head girl.
we fighting.
Yeah.
Oh
So
my goodness.
it's good that they got the youth division now to save some of these kids from stepping in the ring with grown people. But yeah, man, I was like, damn. You know, we came all over here.
Yeah.
I gotta fight elite. I can't fight JOs. You know, I gotta fight grown people.
That's why people talk about Floyd the way they do about when he won nationals and everything, got ranked with Gerald Tucker, James Bacon, and all of them, Fernando, because of when he started fighting grown men at a certain point with Uncle Nesto, that they were all fighting grown men at that point. That's why it was a big deal that he was one of the only people who won that whole tournament. That's why. Yeah. But back to the other thing I wanted to finish saying, and I want to make sure, make sure I want them, as I say this, to see her. This the thing y'all don't understand. Y'all hear us talking about this amateur stuff. When you turn pro and you make that decision to turn pro, remember how I just said how she had a good team around her? Then y'all don't appreciate is all that stuff in the amateurs is free. They take care of you, make sure you good, but when you turn pro, you paying for everything that you could think of that was free at first. You paying for now, 9 times out of 10. Appreciate these women, man, because Clarissa could have easily stayed amateur. RIANNA could have easily said, you know what? I just gotta suck it up. I'm gonna stay. I gotta get over it. I'm gonna stay amateur, because it may be better for me at this point. Do this, that, and the third. Savannah Marshall, all of these names that y'all say y'all appreciate. I can't tell. Like, because of course, then you turn it pro, and you gotta now sometimes get with a team and have to negotiate that. Like, well, I want this taken care of. I want this taken care of. I want this taken care of. I shouldn't have to pay for this. That might have to be on the negotiation table. You know, or that my outfit shouldn't come out of it, or this shouldn't come out of it, or I want a monthly stipend, or things that certain things that you as an amateur wouldn't have to worry about, or my injuries or whatever, or I should get. Now you got to try to negotiate sponsorships and see if so that way, okay, I'm gonna promote y'all, put on my trunks, I'm gonna win in devastating fashion, and that way y'all can take care of my shoulder and come here to all these different things. So appreciate the RIANNA Rioses, appreciate the Marlenes, the Sinisas, the Clarissas, the Savannahs, the Franchons, especially the Franchons and Clarissas. Those and y'all was in there forever. I could have easily, nah, man, go ahead and I want to turn pro, but you know what? It ain't for me right now because of I want to.
A lot of talent had been lost. Like there's some women that you haven't seen in the pro ranks because
Queen Underwood,
one of my favorites.
Preach.
She was one of my favorites.
Mhm.
Right after the Olympics, she was like,
I'm done.
That's it. You know, now
Right.
she living her life now. But
Right.
man, had women's boxing been where it's at right now back then, you would have seen Queen Underwood, I believe, above Michaela.
Whoa.
You know?
Oh yes.
Ooh.
Oh, you never heard of Queen Underwood?
No, I've heard of Queen Underwood, but
But
I'm
you
about to
never-
ask you a question about Michaela, because you know she about to fight Alicia Baumgartner, right? Who you picking in that fight?
Styles make fights.
Uh-huh.
Michaela can box.
Right.
She can box. She proved her last fight that she could stay on the inside and rumble. Alicia got that power though. She could crack.
Mhm.
Yeah, sneaky pop.
I can't pick.
You
I
can't
can't
pick.
pick.
You
If
can't
if
pick.
it goes the distance, Michaela.
Uh-huh.
It's not going the distance, Alicia.
Yeah.
You know, but I like them both. You know, I know both of them.
Okay.
I wish both of them the best. You know, they put it on for women's boxing. So
See what you did?
You know
See
what
what
I
you
mean?
did?
I
You
had
said
to
what
do
you
that.
did, right?
I
Don't
had
worry,
to
I
do
got
that.
him. I got
I
him
had to
double
do
up.
that. I
You
ain't
said
trying
what
to put
you-
you. I ain't trying to put you between the fence.
Because he do this to me. He do the same mess to me. No, you see what you did? Right?
Hey, I'm gonna ask the hard. I can tell. I'm gonna ask you hard questions now. I ain't trying to put you between the two. You know, I know your friends both of them, but that's a big fight for women's
It
boxing.
is.
Boxing, period.
it's gonna showcase a lot of skills.
A whole lot of skill.
You know, because
Mm-hmm.
sometimes when you see these like Amanda and Katie, you saw a lot of skill.
Yep.
Right.
Even though they were swinging and
Right.
rumbling, you saw the skill.
And you saw a lot of
On
heart.
the inside too.
A whole lot of heart.
Heart,
Mhm.
determination. Katie wasn't folding.
She wasn't going nowhere.
You know, she was in it.
And she was hurt
Right.
for what? 2 rounds? What you think?
She was
About 2
hurt.
rounds
She was
straight?
hurt for 2 rounds, and she came back. And
She might have been hurt till after the fight.
right for
Yeah.
You
real.
know, but she was in shape and she wasn't taking no L. You
Right.
know what I mean? So
I'm gonna tell you one thing, man. When I watched that fight live, I think you called me right after the fight. We talked
Yep.
like an hour, and like watching that fight, I was like holding back tears as an athlete, a former athlete, just seeing how much they put into that. I had hairs and chills standing up, like my goosebumps. I'm like, man, this is phenomenal. The effort that they just gave. I love
didn't
effort.
sit down. The
You
whole
couldn't sit
fight,
down?
I was standing up.
Yeah.
Shadow
yeah.
boxing.
Yeah. We was the same, standing up. Shadow boxing. He called me middle of the fight, like, yo, you see what this Amanda's doing? Yo, this is crazy. She about to knock her out. I'm like, yo, I don't know. Katie coming back. It was like that old school feel where it was like Ali Frazier or, you know, listening to the fight over the radio and you're hearing the announcers. Like, I felt like I was in there with him. It gave me that kind of euphoric feeling about boxing, women's boxing. That was huge.
Yeah, it was. And I think we're going to see it again.
Yeah.
This come September with Clarissa and Savannah. And
Right.
Clarissa going to whoop her. But it's the atmosphere is going to
Yeah.
be there,
Yeah.
you know? And
Yeah.
then Michaela and Alicia, that's going to be.
That's a huge fight.
They
that's a
might
huge
steal the
fight.
show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know? They might steal the show. But either way, whoever wins, it's going to be a great night of boxing for women.
Right.
That's for sure.
Now, for you, with your pedigree and how dangerous you are and how, you know, it's a lot of people that you could beat. Is it hard for you to find opponents because of how dangerous you are? It's like the risk isn't worth the reward for you to get in the ring with some of these people.
Yeah. It's been a little difficult for Coach Lamont and the matchmakers. But he's doing it. You know, so he's doing what he's got to do as a manager, promoter, coach, you know, finding the right ones. But at the end of the day, it don't matter who's in there. You know, we got a job to do, and that's what we're going to do.
Not just that, but look at the track record of the people you fought in your early career compared to, ain't mentioning no names, certain pro men
He always taking shots.
No, I'm really not trying to take. I'm just trying to tell the truth.
You
I never forget when it was Mike Reed, Jared, DeMar, all of them were turning, and this is when Gene and Ross were throwing cards every month, like Dusty was pro, Top Arnell, whatever. And Gene told, I'm not gonna mention the fighter's name, but he had basically said to all of them, I know y'all done had over 100, a lot of y'all had over 100 amateur fights. Y'all done been in the ring since y'all were little kids, but it's still the pros. So the first 2 fights is gonna be ducks. But after that, I'm not putting you in there to lose, but each fight after your second pro fight, I'm putting you in there with guys that is gonna keep you sharper and keep you getting better. So when you do get your chance, a la Jared, when you fought Frank Galarza, you're not gonna shrink under the lights because you've actually kept your skills sharp and haven't developed no bad habit. You fought the right pro guys at the right time to develop your skills as you went along. One guy, cough, cough, went in because I used to work for Gene. That was my first job. My first real job. Besides, I used to sweep up the barbershop. My first real job was being a file clerk for Gene and Ross. And I wasn't in it for the conversation. I came in after this conversation happened. I'm like, what's going on, Gene? I'm about to go start on the files over here. All right. So you all right? Man, such and such is upset because he felt like the kid we threw him in there was too difficult. I'm like, what? He damn near killed the boy. And he was like, nah, he has a problem with it. His coach had a problem with it, whatever. I said, you gotta be kidding me. And the coach is like, man, what you throw my guy in there? Or they'll come in, another guy came in the Gene office and said, yeah, so can you make sure I'm on the card every month? I just need to get to 7-0. And these people saying they want to sign me. Just put me in there with like some ducks or whatever. Just keep them every month. And if you look at not just Double R, but a lot of these female fighters, like the knockout that Sinisa got to that mom, girl, that don't necessarily happen all the time with female fighters. 9 out of 10, it's another girl. It's kind of like the 80s. Like if you look at the 80s, 70s, the 50s, all of them old fights, the guys that had 12-12 records and whatever, they still knew how to stand right. They still knew how to catch. They knew what they was supposed. Yeah, they knew fundamentally that you could put them in there with anyone. They still, like you fighting Christine Cruz. She may have had more experience, was older, but your foundation, you still knew how to get in the ring with anybody and at least know how to do what you're supposed to do. Fundamentally sound and it got you through. And that made it a better experience for you. For like, okay, so I learned from this, and I can add this, add that.
It shows like you could
exactly
keep up with that type of level, right?
Yeah, so. And sometimes they throw you in there with, okay, this is how we mention it around. This is how all the old times you say you got bums, then you got bums. I never forget. I ain't gonna say the promoter name, but I was there. He got a call. Yeah, man, you want to put him call? All right, yeah, all right, but what fight you want for him? You want a bum for him, or you want a bum? And the coach said, no, give him a bum. Don't give him a bum. I still want the guy to, try to push him to go at least 2 or 3 rounds, and then he maybe stop the kid, so that way he can still keep, stay sharp. Know this, get used to the pro gloves and things like that, how the gloves are in the pros and how small they are, they cut and all this stuff. Because you might do something in the pros where you might block and you might put it in the right spot, but you so used to the amateur glove might be a little wider that now that pro glove is about that much. If the amateur glove here, the pro glove about here, and it takes away, oh crap, you gotta adjust and all those things. And they don't do that. Like, so when Double R was talking about these women that she fought could go. Like the girl from Philly that I keep mentioning. If you took that girl right now, she leave Philly and she go and start training with RIANNA. That girl go on a 7-fight win streak ASAP.
She said not against me though.
No. No, I'm saying like right now. Yeah. I'm saying, what the stop. Like loca preguntas. Like, but he keep, man. But I mean, it's like if you took that girl now and she says, hey, RIANNA, I don't know if y'all have a relationship after the fights or whatever, because sometimes you fight people, you get cool with them or whatever, because y'all know what's on each other's insides after tough fights. You know, but let's say if that girl had a relationship with Double R after those 2 fights. So, you know what, girl, if you need a sparring partner for each camp or whatever, I'll gladly come down. And let's say Rihanna be like, all right, I'll pay you $100 a round, you know, whatever, for the 8 weeks. Sparring 3 times a week. We're gonna do 6 or we're gonna do 8. You get paid, whatever. That girl will probably get so much better, especially with so much that No Excuse knows from amateur to pro and skill sets. That girl probably turn her whole career and record around. That's how just the little things outside the ring can mess it up. But these are the type of tough women that they fighting against. Each fight.
That's a good point. That's a good point. Let me ask you about that fight, because you fought her twice in a row. What adjustments, because you made a crazy adjustment. It looked like you became more patient in the second fight. Was that something y'all worked on in camp?
It's just picking my shots.
Picking your shot?
Picking my shots, because that amateur style, I still had, you know, and still, I'm still having difficulties sitting down. Because when I see the opening, I just go, you know, so.
Oh, wait, back that up. You say you still having trouble sitting down. I can't fucking tell. I'm just saying, I saw. Go on.
Her last fight was beautiful.
Exactly. I'm trying to understand. She said she's still having trouble sitting down on stuff.
I'm still not sitting down like I should be sitting down, right? So that's what we've been working on in the gym. Keeping my knees bent, staying low, and ripping. So it showed a little bit last fight. It showed.
That was a little bit?
That was a little bit. That was a little bit. It showed. So now this next one should show even more. But yeah, it's just elevating.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
And it.
You see it from a superstar. Y'all, this is a superstar. Y'all gonna revisit this interview and be like, yo, that has Rihanna Rios on it. Yeah, this is her. Tap in with this right here. I'm telling you, man. Superstar.
She's talking about sitting in the chair.
Nah, she talking about sitting
on the.
But the way you got rid of that girl, man, I'm telling you, the whole arena erupted.
She made the girl bend over.
Matter of fact, let me ask you about that. Like, like I said, you're a superstar. From your ring walk to your uniform, your outfit, the music, how you come out, you bouncing, you shaking your gloves out. You get in the ring, it's like you are a superstar in the making. So, like, where does that energy come from?
Fighting.
Right.
Fighting. It's what I love to do. You know, that's when I'm at my, like,
at peace.
Like, I love to do it, you know, and it's not work. You know, I love what I do, and when you believe in yourself and you got people behind you who believe in you, that just amplifies those emotions more, you know, because I got a small team, but it's solid.
Right.
You know, I'm not as well known yet as a lot of these other women are, but the people who are supporting me right now or who behind me right now, they come out. You know what I mean?
Indeed.
Everybody comes out for Rihanna, boo.
They come out, they show the support, the love, and all that, and that's just like you feed off that energy, the crowd. You know, I got my family out always in the crowd. You know, they come up from Texas every time. You know, so it's like that feeling of gratitude, and I'm super chill, like, and that's,
I can tell,
that's how I like to be, you know. But once the bell rings, it's different, you know. But I just like to carry that energy up until the bell rings, and the smiles, the jumping around, you know, the outfit, all that puts into the performance I'm gonna put on, you know. So it's just carrying it, man. And sometimes you don't even like realize what's going on.
Right,
like,
because you just in
it's
there
just
so much.
It's a tunnel.
Right. And let me say something about your fan base too. Cause I was sitting ringside at your second to last fight, and I'm just sitting there by myself, mind my business. And there's 2 people came and sat next to me. They sat down and watched the fight. Like, yeah, we here to see Rihanna's. Not Rihanna, Rihanna Rios. They're like, who you here to see? They said, you better be here to see Rihanna fight. You better be here. I'm like, yeah, I'm going for Rihanna in this fight. Of course I want to see her do her thing. And they was like, yeah. He was like, yeah. You better be. I'm like, yo. So they definitely got your back. I'm telling you.
But also, I love that because Rose Crawford is
very
like
personal.
it's very personal. It's like our StubHub center. Like, like so many wars that happen at Rose Crawford, so many great moments. and it's so intimate, especially how the ring walk is set up, how you make the S, you turn, it's like a letter L, how you turn through the whole crowd. But I love, because my ex was from, she came to the fight with me, and she's from Michoacan. And me now just finding out that I'm part Boricua and all this stuff, so. And
That's why he trying to speak
That's why
Spanish.
he's speaking
Lord,
Spanish.
lo
trying
and
to
behold,
get-
he trying to sharpen up a little bit.
trying to get better. Cause Nesto from Hillcrest, it's like my uncle. So he was always speaking Spanish when I was a kid, learning whatever. But I love how unapologetic. It was beautiful how you had the music you pick, especially because for people who don't know, if you listen to narco corridos, which means like narco music, a lot of times it sounds like a beautiful love song ballad, but they talking about drug trafficking half the time, like half the stuff. And then Rihanna come out and double like I'm out there with the cowboy hat on and tips her hat to the crowd. It is palpable, like it's a palpable boom when she comes. And I enjoy.
We love watching you fight.
I love watching
I
you
can't
ring
wait
walk.
to see that ring walk in like the Cowboys Stadium.
Yes,
you coming out of
indeed. You
Madison
go back
Square
home?
Garden, somewhere big. You know what I'm saying? Hard Rock Stadium down in Miami. I can't wait to see that ring walk in a huge, packed out arena. I swear, because I get chills at the Rosecroft. I could imagine, bro.
Oh my
Lord have mercy.
Right. Yeah. I mean, that's what these fights are for. You know, they're preparing me for that.
Right.
So the more people that come out, the more cheering and them being loud, that only amplifies us, right?
Right.
So like we carry that with us into the ring. So the more the merrier.
How
You
much
know
is
what I
an
mean?
adrenaline boost that you got to slow down when the first bell ring? You're like, all right, just go smooth.
Once
You
the
might
bell rings, it's
kind of rely. Yeah.
You know, like I've done it so much.
Yeah.
Once the bell rings, I'm back. Like
Right.
that's
Right.
it's time to go to work.
Right.
So all the emotions up until that point are great. Smiling, jumping, interacting,
Right.
listening to all the crowd and all that. But
Right.
once the bell rings, you don't hear nothing.
Right.
You only hear your
You
corner.
only hear the voices that you're used to hearing in the gym. So
Mm-hmm.
I only hear my coaches and a couple of my teammates.
Right.
And
Beautiful.
maybe once or twice I'll hear my mom and my wife. But
Right.
that's about it. Like
Yeah.
you don't hear nothing, you don't see nothing but the person in front of you. And that's like,
Right.
I don't know, it's hard to explain.
I can explain it. It's like in the movie Biker Boys when he gets on the bike in that last race and everything zones into like
Yeah,
right
it's like
here.
a tunnel.
Yeah,
It's in
yeah.
that tunnel. That's where you at.
Exactly.
Nothing matters but the race. You right there in the race.
Right. So
Yeah.
the only people you see is the person in front of you, your team, when the bell rings, and your thoughts. Like that's it. Like if you overthink, that's
Right.
you can't be in your head too much. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So
that's my
that's
issue.
that tunnel. That tunnel vision
Yep.
is what helps.
For sure.
Keep you from being so much inside your head.
Yeah.
And that
for sure.
right there, I'm gonna tip my hat to you because I still have trouble with that. Even though I've been doing this as a little kid, like I love how controlled, no matter how controlled everything is when you fight. It's like peanut butter. It's just smooth. You know how everything you do, let's see if I say it right, mantequilla. Yeah, so it's
Good one, yeah.
El Niño de Oro. But that is everything just looks so smooth. Do it then when you stop it's how short you are. You get on the top rope. That joke is so dope. Like how little you are. You get on the top rope and you stand there. That joke be so dope, yo.
I used to practice that when I was a little
You
kid.
too?
Getting on the ropes.
Yes.
Yeah, getting on the ropes. I used to stand on the couch, the
Oh.
arm on the
Yes.
couch,
Yeah.
and hold up a belt.
Oh man.
Those are just moments that I used to dream of and think of when I was a kid. So now
Right.
when
And
I
now
do
you
'em,
here.
it's like not real. You know what I mean?
Right.
So
Right. I can only imagine that feeling, man. It's like when
You
I think
know
of,
the feeling.
I know the feeling. Let me be. I'm
Stop
just trying to be humble.
downplaying
I'm trying to be
yourself.
humble, bro.
You play football, right?
At
Yeah,
a
I play
high
ball.
level. No, at a high level. College level, at the high level.
So you know the feeling.
Yeah, I know
you
the
know what
feeling.
it is.
I know the feeling. But when it comes to boxing, I ain't never, been in the ring. But it's kind of relatable.
It's
like when
similar.
you,
It's
like when you
similar.
say you zone
you
out.
put your pads on,
Mhm.
and the person. What position?
I
you
play
play?
safety and corner.
Safety. Okay, so when the receiver coming down, that's
He
all
used
you
to
see.
crack
You
them.
chopping,
Yeah. That's all you hear is the feet and the.
singing.
That's all you hear is feet and pads. You don't never hear the crowd.
I'll take boxing any day of the week.
Yeah.
I'll take boxing any day of the week. You can have football. I'll take boxing any day. Nope.
Y'all crazy, man.
Nope.
Y'all are crazy. I don't
Nope.
think I could get in there and do that, man.
Nope.
I'll shadow box all day, but you tell me to go fight in the ring for real, like organized? Nah, I'm good. I'm good. Y'all
What?
got that.
I have a question I wanted to ask you because, especially now getting to know you and now us finally meeting everything, I could really relate to you when you said. So I have sickle cell. I have a that's my own. So never really got the chance to, no matter how talented people thought I was. I didn't get a chance to do it on the highest level, but I was always in top training camp, amateur or pro. With the Russells or with when Jared turned pro, being with Jared, helping sparring Jared, things like that. And when you said how you came back, you had dealt with the anxiety, depression, whatever, trying to get out of that bad place. Everybody sees us, especially fighters. We're always taught you get hit with the hardest shot and you shake, faint, and walk off. The only time you really see is hurt or show pain is if we hit our hand, you do the little wiggle with the hand.
Shake it
But like that. Oh man, but after all the surgeries and things like that I had, it felt like Johnny Tapia almost. Johnny Tapia said, what you can I always feel safer in the ring. And he said, why? He said, because everything bad that's ever happened to me outside the ring. And I remember I had friends who with sickle cell passed away and they had us talk to a psychiatrist, whatever. And she said, that you could die in there, right? That's the, I said, well, yeah, but I enjoy every moment because I don't know if I get to do it again. Especially me. I don't know if I'll be in the gym Monday. Monday could be my last day. Like, all right, I can't do this no more. My body not going to let me. But something about doing it to where it's like, this is where I'm the safest. Nothing bad ever happens to me. Especially, boxing, they say boxing is your mistress. And if you have to give it all and treat it the best way to get everything good back. And when you do that, but it's weird for civilian, when guys like us, fighters, athletes, when we leave that realm and we go back into society with civilians,
it's a struggle to readjust.
Because we're taught to be under these rules. We play by a different set of rules, almost like how drug dealers talk about how you take everything that come with it. You don't rat, you don't cheat, you don't tell things like that. In boxing, you be honorable, you take responsibility, go take everything as it comes or whatever. And you're taught with boxing, since a little kid, if you give it everything you got, it'll give you everything. She'll give you everything that you want. If you give her everything you got, she'll give you everything you want. In any sport, especially boxing. But then you go out into society and you do those same rules, and some people don't play by those same rules. You give that person all you got, and they don't give you the same back. And when you deal with those certain things, whether it's RIANNA coming out of what she dealt with and trying to, okay, I don't know, man, if I want to turn, if I want to do this, but I got that itch because that's where my ultimate piece is at. And BINK, man, injuries and coming back and doing these other things, me with sickle cell and having somebody like Jared Hurst and, I love sparring you in camp. I need that speed and things like that. Those places is like, it might be dangerous, but this is where I'm the safest because nothing bad has ever happened to me here. And I dealt with that a little bit with having to, Silk, you're not going to be able to, coach Herb Martin, who was on the Olympic coaches. Like, kid, you have the ability to be a top amateur, but with your sickle cell, with your up and down, you won't be able to. Okay, but I was like, I have to stay in the gym, cause
that's where you're comfortable.
And that's I know that
hear anything on the outside,
and that's just different. And I don't really talk about this much, and I don't know what especially now with you here, it really felt good to really compare notes here where. I definitely can relate to that when it comes to we had to go back to the gym. We had to go back to the gym because that's where we can always make sure everything is right. Everything is better when we around our guys in that square. And then, of course, I'm single, but you have your wife who's the closest thing to boxing for you that can keep that same feeling after you walk away. But if you care to elaborate more about, comparing those from what I said to what you about how you needed that itch to be sure you needed to be there because of what you were feeling at that point.
Yeah, like I didn't know what to do with myself. I had just gotten out of the army. I had just had shoulder surgery.
Damn.
So I was out for I was supposed to be out for 8 weeks. I was only out for 4. You know, I wasn't listening. You know, it was like 8 weeks at least. You know, I said I'll be good after 4. I was right back in camp, heading to Spain for international tournament. You know, so I was just, I guess I was lost a little bit. You know, like I didn't know what to do with myself, and I don't like to talk. I'm not a talker. Get me to talk,
especially if you don't know the person.
Yeah, like I'd rather just keep things to myself or talk to myself, and you know, some self talk, some self talk. You know, so from like July to December, I was going through it, and I didn't tell nobody. I didn't say nothing. You know, I was putting in my work, competing. I went over, boxed internationally, took silver, I think. And then I competed at Worlds, lost the second day. And I came back and trained for a week, and then I went straight to Nationals. Won Nationals, got my ticket to Olympic trials, seeded 1. But I was just so lost. Like, I didn't know what to do. When I was training, I was fine. But after training, I was struggling, you know. And I went on vacation. I came back. I figured maybe I just need some downtime, you know. So my wife and I went on vacation. I came back. And I was still struggling. I didn't know what to do. And my wife knows me. She's my best friend. She knows. She knows when I'm lying. She knows when I'm not being myself. So she sat me down and was like, what's wrong? Like, I know you. We haven't been around each other a lot, but I know you. So talk to me. You know, and I was like, I don't know what's wrong. Like, I can't explain what I'm feeling. I don't know, like, what's going on. You know, my shoulder still hurts, you know, I was having trouble with my eyes. I was just like, I don't know if it's my body telling me that's enough or it's just mental. But I was struggling, and I had to go back to camp in order to keep my spot. And I had just started going to school full time, you know, so I had a lot on my plate. And I got to the point in camp where I was like, all right, I've been here for 2 weeks. I'm still not feeling myself, you know, and I sat down and told the coaches, you know, I don't feel good. I don't think I need to be here, you know, like I need to get my eye situation under control. I need to let my shoulder heal. I'm going to go home, and I think I'm done, you know, but I was so lost. Like, I can't even think of another word to put it. I was just sitting on the couch at home, you know, doing my school stuff because I had to, you know, but come gym time, you know, I was like, okay, what do I do now? You know, come time to work out in the mornings, it's like I don't have to be outside running, you know, 4 or 5, 6 miles. You know, I'm gonna just sit here, and I didn't know what to do. Like, I didn't know what to do with myself. I was going to school to stay busy and to get an education, you know, because I was done boxing. I was like, I don't know what else to do but go back to school and finish. And I got a job, part-time job, to stay busy, but nothing was helping. And I finally just started talking more, you know, like talking to my wife and my friends, you know, keeping me, because I have like 3 friends, good friends that I could open up to, you know. So just talking with them, and, you know, there was like, you miss it. Like, that's what you're missing, you know. It's like, no, that's not it. You know, I'm just not happy. You know, I'll figure it out. But yeah, I was just missing it, I guess. I don't know. Like, I was out, like, not myself for a while, and just talking, opening up, figuring out like what's best for myself, you know. And I decided, that's when I made the decision, like, okay, I'm not happy doing the amateur thing.
Right.
Who's to say I won't be happy doing pro? You know what I mean?
Right.
So I don't want to do that no more, but I can jump into the pro ranks and make something of myself, you know, because I put in all that work in the amateurs. I gotta let it show some type of way, even if I only fight once, even if I only win my pro debut and I decide, all right, I'm good. Like I've accomplished, I've done everything.
Which a lot of people do.
Right, and it's just to do it, to get it out of the way, to say you did it, and maybe like March 2019, I talked with Coach Lamont and I was like, hey, Coach, I want to turn pro. You know, I'm done with the amateur stuff. I can't be in camp all the time because when you're on Team USA, you're in camp all the time. Like, that is your job. That is what you do.
Pre-camp camp.
Yeah, like overseas in different countries doing camps, you have no time off. And your time off is like a couple weeks back home. But being married, having bills, a mortgage, car payments, like all this stuff adds up. And I couldn't just let my wife do all that, you know, because she's active duty military. So
okay, she's still in the service.
She's still in the service, you know. So that's why we're here in the DMV. Okay, because she's stationed out here. But I couldn't put all that on my wife, you know, like just the way I was brought up and
honorable.
You know, like you have to, you know, do your share. So there was just a lot of things that
you carrying a lot of weight at that time.
Yeah, like I was just, you know, I had no income. I'm going from a set income, not worried about nothing. My bills are paid on time. I got money to go out to vacation and enjoy myself. And then you wake up one morning, nothing.
Waiting on that GI Bill. Like, where the GI Bill at, man? Come on, where the GI Bill?
Right, and that's why I started going to school, you know, because I have some income coming in.
Right.
And like all these factors were just weighing in on me, and I was like, I didn't know what to do with myself. I was lost. But I figured it out. You know, I started talking a little more, opening up, sharing, and started boxing again.
Right.
And I mean, everything happens for a reason. So I think I needed to go through that to be in the position I'm in now.
Now look at your character now.
Right. You know, so it's hard to like be an athlete because we don't talk. Right? We don't talk about nothing going on.
Preach.
You only see the hard work we put in, and then when it's come to showtime, that's what you see.
Yeah.
But you don't see none of the aches and pains and.
Thank you.
Not just physically, right, but mentally,
up
like it's draining, and it drains you. It drains your body. And
thank you for coming on here. Saying I've been saying it for too long.
Yeah, some people will be like, "All right, I'm done. I ain't putting my body through this no more." You know, I don't have no relationships. I don't have time to do anything, and it's just. It was finding a way for me to be able to do everything I wanted to do, be around the people I wanted to be around, and ultimately control my career.
Yeah.
So being a professional is a lot more stable for me.
Gave you the freedom that you needed.
Yeah.
Right. They had to get the love back for the sport. I'm glad you got that love back for the sport.
Yeah, you know, because I don't know what I'd be a athletic trainer maybe in some high school right now or something like that, but that's just like it was just finding myself again because man, I'll tell you,
you was down.
I was down. I didn't know what to do with myself, like and luckily I had a good support system, you know? Like my wife wouldn't push, you know, she would just let me be, you know.
That's
so,
important.
But you knew she was still arm's length away.
Right.
That's so important right there. That's somebody that's in your corner that knows you're struggling. That's not going to be in your face like, what's wrong? Why don't you talk to me? But just say, she's going through it right now. Let me take a couple steps back, rub her back, give her a kiss, and let her know I'm here if you need me. That's important.
And that's it, you know. And once in a while, you know, I'll have my days, you know, and I'll just tell Coach, hey, Coach, I won't be at the gym today. All right, you know, take your time off, enjoy your day. That type of thing, you know. Having a team like that who necessarily isn't pressing you like, hey, why you not in the gym? Hey, you need to be here. Because they know I'm going to work. They know I'm going to get my road work in when I'm not in the gym. They know I'm putting in the work. If they don't see me putting in the work, they know and they trust and believe in me. So having a team and a support system like that truly, like, I think saved my boxing career.
Wow.
I would say. Like, just the support system I have in general, like, really is the reason I'm still boxing.
Wow, that's incredible.
Yeah.
This is definitely a great. I'm glad you brought the topic up, and thank you for sharing. I feel like it's important for athletes, professional athletes especially, to share these stories. You know, recently we had Danny Garcia share his story in the post-fight. You know, broke down in tears. Thomas Lamana just posted how he was going through anxiety and depression after he lost to Laura. You know what I'm saying? So it's becoming more normal for people to get on
You
and
can
speak about
mention
their
me,
feelings.
too.
You too, definitely. I
And
mean, yeah,
Bink.
we've had private conversations too. You know, even myself, I went through some of the same things you guys went through after, you know, I wasn't able to play football no more, and mental health like dove down bad, and I was down bad too. So I can definitely relate to both you guys and what you guys went through. And I think it's important that you came here and, you know, share that story. And we appreciate it.
And to your point, people gotta understand. Like, for instance, we always went in the same vicinity, but I never went up to you, shook your hand, say, hey, you know, because like Bing knows I still have a slight timid, like, shyness a little bit, but people see El Nino de Oro, the golden boy, oh, great smile, great personable, say hey to the kids, smile, whatever. But a lot of times, like what Bink noticed a few months ago when I went through something, it was I didn't talk. If I it's in and I don't, especially if I don't know you. If I don't know you, I'm not talking. Like and people don't get that. They think because they see me on here and they see how if it's I could be as upset as you could be, but if it's a kid who may have sickle cell, if it's a kid who saw me on TV or whatever, or acting or something like that, hey, I want, and I'll instantly turn it on because that person may not ever see you again, so you want to make sure you turn on and you have that be genuine and take the smile, everything, but a lot of times, if it ain't Bink, if it ain't like now I'm starting to really talk more with Kenichi or you know, Ace, you know, shout out to Prima. She's like those close family members or, you know, my sister or whatever. Besides that, I won't talk at all. You know, I won't say much. And Bing had to really try to pull it. Like, bro, what's going on? Nah, man, forget it. It is what it is, bro. Like, you know, you stay to yourself. And people see the flashiness of fighters. They see Rihanna Rios with the tracksuit on, everybody happy to see her. Oh, this is because now that you're there, it used to be the house that Jared, Mike Reed, and Damon built at a certain point in time. Now, since those guys have ascended and moved on, and now that you guys are coming in, is now, and you're the main event, it's basically this is Rihanna's house now in a sense, because this is where you know you're gonna see her shine. This is the first place you're gonna think of now when you think of her fighting. And they can see that fighter. Let's say we're on that. You know how you go into Rose Crawford, you go up the escalator, and then you got the little ramp that goes in. If I'm at the top, like, oh, there go Rihanna, the tracksuit. You see the team and all that other stuff. Then you know, you see the cameras, and you see the flashy outfit, the cowboy hat, all of the, you know, but people don't understand that up until that point, until you could be going through that stuff, and then once Rihanna gets to that arena, everything is okay now. That's the part y'all don't understand. Or people say, man, you ain't got a beautiful smile, but his smile is the biggest when he stepped through those doors at the gym, or he goes through, like when I finally went back to I was sick for, I had another sickle cell crisis. I was out for how many months, man? It was a minute, man. So, Dusty, then when I did get healthy, Dusty and my dad were worried, you know, with me not having a spleen, no gallbladder, no appendix, all that other stuff. Like, okay, we don't take it easy just in case we don't want him getting sick in the gym with things like that. So with COVID, we still didn't train. I was only in Monster Mark John's training camp because it was private. And then as we went on, when I finally went back last week and had my first sparring session, everything, everybody was clapping, happy to see me. And then when they Drew and all of them opened up the ropes, and I said, "What you open the rope?" Nah, come on in, baby. And it's like all of that goes away, and people don't understand that about especially athletes that are in a physical sport, the football players, the boxers, the hockey players. Because in those sports, you're taught not to show pain at all. In all the other sports, you can flop, fake the pain, do whatever you want to do. But, you know, in all those sports only has one ball. But boxing, you need two balls. You sit there and you have to actually have to act like you actually have to have some heart. You know, so you, in those moments, people don't understand that you will feel so much just
It's like your social I know you're trying to say it's like they see the persona and they see RIANNA RIOS, the ring walker.
Yeah.
But that's not you. Sometimes you don't want to be talked to, right? Sometimes you
Right.
don't
Be
want to
to
socialize.
yourself.
Your battery's dead. You don't feel like talking. You know what I'm saying? Like, especially when I get in public spaces, big public arenas like the Rose Crawford, and people's all interacting around. I'm like, yeah. It's like, I got to really focus in and have a conversation because I just want to be there just to watch the fight. I don't want to have to interact and talk with everybody at all times.
Remember what you said to me? He said, bro, I don't know how you do it. I said, what you talking about? He says, my dad was a fighter and my uncles were fighters or whatever, and I was 4 years old, and there was Joppy, Sean Bay Mitchell, Derek Cole, those guys. I was the baby. And so these people done watched me grow up, and he's seeing BINK was with me, so many people coming up, Daniel trying to talk to me, little kids coming up to me. One kid came out, remember the kid came out of nowhere. Hey, yo, Golden Boy, you Dabby gave me a big old hug. I was like, yeah, what's your name? I took a picture. He said, bro, I don't know how the hell you do it. Because he knew I was in pain. I was having some sickle cell pain that day. He was like, bro, I don't know how you do it, how you can consistently do that. And it just, people don't understand that the anxiety that goes through, and then trying to stay at a high level consistently and trying to just go back to the smallest thing of, well, this is the only place where I feel at full peace. I could maybe shake this off and keep it moving and do this. And I'm going to my main office. This is my main office. I'm going to keep throwing the same punches that I've been throwing and all those other things, And then it's so hard because in boxing and in football and things like that, you got all these people around you. Like my father always say, he hate when he see fighters come out with rappers. It's so, because it's a 30-second ring walk, bro. Some depending on where you fight, it's like 30 seconds. And you paying this guy all buku amount of money to scream and holler, and you don't hear none of the lyrics. You got all these, hood dudes, everybody walking behind you. And I remember one of my friends said, I might have my people behind me, but nobody get in front of me and my dad. We should be the only ones to see the pack because he only want his father walking with him. Mm-hmm. And when you got all these people around you, when you go up them 4 steps, you are by yourself. And the only thing you taking whatever shot physically, but her wife takes the shots. Even if she's slipping the shot that she don't take, her wife takes it emotionally. Coach Roach takes it emotionally. Lil Jordan takes it emotionally. That's that tight fist group of people that she's talking about. That's fine. But when you got all these, people, all of that stuff, but you still got to go in there and fight. And you in there in one of the most loneliest places you could be, while at the same time trying to find solace in this place. Mm-hmm. And I don't think people understand that. And I owe you a great thank you because it was still a little bit that I ain't talk about, and you coming on here and it really talking to another fighter as well, and having my brother right here being I owe you a big thank you on camera and off camera when you get out of it.
No, thank you for having me.
Yeah, for sure.
Appreciate these talks. I don't talk much unless I'm being interviewed or I'm not one to share my story with people. So thank you for asking these questions and for having me in this conversation.
Right. Much respect. Yeah. Much respect to you. I got a couple more questions. We're going to let you get up out of here. Yeah, so you got a fight coming up next weekend, right?
Yes, indeed.
How are you feeling for that fight? Who is your opponent? What can we expect from you next weekend?
Next weekend, I'm fighting, I think her name is Moni Trejo. I think that's what it is. I checked I think it's Moni Trejo. I checked just because I know people ask
the question, right?
Yeah. But I felt great. It's gonna be another great performance. She's Mexican. I'm looking to have someone come forward and let her hands go. So I think
suit you, huh?
Right. But I think this fight is gonna allow me to showcase my skills a little more as far as boxing.
Okay.
Because not very many people have seen me box on the outside.
Right.
And I can box on the outside. I can counter well. I can move, use my feet, but people don't get to see that because I'm always the one coming forward and walking them down. So I think this time is going to be a better opportunity for me to box and have fun and let it flow. And that's what I'm looking forward to. But at the end of the day, I'm going to adjust and make the adjustments as needed in there. But I think it's going to be some fireworks.
Oh, for sure.
I think she's going to come to fight, These women don't come to lay down.
Yeah.
They come to fight their heart out, give it what they got, and try to win.
Yeah.
So you're gonna see that. I think you're gonna see her try to win, and you're gonna see me do what I do.
Oh, for sure. We're excited to see it.
Also, because I saw somebody that's in this room. I don't know if you know her name, RIANNA Real. She had posted something on Instagram, right? Where she was like, "Oh, you want to be on the news while in training camp, huh? You want to be on the news?"
Oh, she was on
huh?
the news. I ain't even see
Yeah.
it.
So the girl was up into the girl was in Mexico, right? She went on the news.
Oh, she from Mexico? Like,
She's
Yeah.
from-
Oh yeah.
Okay.
I forget exactly where it was.
I'm not sure what part.
I think it was San Silo, something like that. Mexico. But she was on the morning news and had her belt on. I think she had her belt on her shoulder and everything on the news or whatever. And
It's
all
a
of
big
sudden,
opportunity for her. You know, she coming to the
Yes.
States. She's not gonna lay down.
no,
I
for
was
sure.
just laying
know,
down in
so-
my bed and I scrolled and all of a sudden I see oh, so you on the news while you supposed to be in camp. Okay, we gonna see about that. And I just
Right.
all of a sudden I did that. Oh my guts. Oh God.
Yeah, it's gonna be bad news. She's celebrating a little bit too early, but she's supposed to be excited for
She's
this
supposed to
opportunity.
be, right?
Yes.
She's-
Yes.
That's
Yeah,
how
so,
she's
you know,
supposed to be.
No
Yes.
disrespect to her.
You
You
know,
know,
so-
be excited.
She's
While you
coming to
can.
fight. She's her record doesn't speak for who she is as a boxer. Right? I
Mhm.
think she's
Yeah,
2-2,
2-2-1.
2-2-1,
And
something
then
like
they
that.
moved her a little fast, right?
Yeah, they put
Mhm.
her in there with someone she wasn't supposed to be in there with.
Mhm.
But these women, they have losses. Some have like 10, 12, but
Mhm.
they come in to fight.
Right.
You
Mhm.
know, they may not have the amateur background or being moved properly, you
Mhm.
know, but they coming.
Right.
So I'm not overlooking her. You
Like
know,
them old 50s ones I was talking about. Them
Yeah.
band was regular, but they come to fight.
Yeah, they come in to fight. So we're not overlooking her. We training hard in the gym. You
Yeah.
know, that's where I'm about to go right now.
Oh, for sure.
To go put this work in. But
So
it is what it is. You know,
Yeah.
so we gonna put on a show for sure.
For
gotta,
sure.
gotta
Real
put
quick
you on
though.
blast real quick.
Go ahead.
So you know, we was talking about the contracts and negotiations and things of that nature. All right, now once again we gotta talk about another fight that ain't happening. That's because somebody in the room, you know, hey, follow my eyes, follow the eyes. Don't make it obvious. Don't make it obvious.
This dude crazy,
But-
man.
Spence and Bud, I feel like I want to get your opinion on it because right now where you're at in your career, you know, sometimes you might. That's another thing I noticed. You ain't got no TBAs for real when it comes to your fights. But if it's a late replacement, you know. But now I'm saying you've had people that you supposed to fight, and then they may drop out. Then it's a TBA. But now I'm saying it's this person and the contract and this that. You know, some prospects cough get like TBAs to like 20-0, but that's just a story for another day. But
That's what
anywho.
having a good team is about.
Exactly.
Mhm.
That's
you
what
in a
that
good spot.
is. Yeah.
Mhm.
But with certain things, I was trying to tell Bing is that with these contracts and how things is going in the fight game, when it comes to things like Spence and Bud kind of messed itself up by re-signing with Bob Brown because Bob Brown gave him $1 million in cash and promised him, Bud, I promise you, I'm gonna get you the Spence fight and all this other mess. And then now it's like some underlying tones now after Spence had his accident and all these other in the detachment and the torn retina, all these different things. That if Bud would have beat him, it's, oh, well, you know, after that, we never know how he was, even though he's been more consistent in the gym. And then with Bud is, well, you know, he kind of gave away 2 years worth of great championship rounds that he had in the tank by staying with Bob Bram all this other time. I personally don't feel like we should even talk, you know, about, because it's so frustrating with some fight. And you got y'all female fighters that's actually, man, making these contracts. Okay, you walking out like, okay, cool. We going, you 60s, 50, all right, cool, this is what we doing. But what is your all-around basis opinion about what is going on with this whole Bud and Spence saga mess?
At the end of the day, you're the one in the ring. If what's on the contract ain't making sense for you to step in the ring with someone like Bud or Spence, then I get it.
True.
Mhm.
Like, I'm not one to say, oh, he ducking. Oh,
Yeah.
unless you know for a fact you making 20 plus mil, right?
Mhm.
Like Canelo, right?
Yeah.
I'm a Bud fan. I pick Bud over Spence. I like Spence. I
Say
think
that again for me real quick. Run
Yeah.
that back, right? Say that again,
I
double
pick
R.
Bud over Spence.
Oh,
just
yeah.
because
Did you hear all that?
I personally
It's okay.
I personally know Bud.
Come here.
You know,
Oh, yeah. Okay.
I've seen him train. I've
Mhm.
been
Now,
in the
why you
same
had to
gym
ruin it? Now you
as
gonna...
him. You know, so my heart with Bud,
Yeah.
but it's a 50-50 fight.
True.
Spence may think he deserves more because he has more belts, which makes sense. You know, he's bringing more to the table, so he should be getting paid more. But Crawford, on the other hand, he was undisputed at 140, was it?
Yeah.
Right,
140, yeah.
So he's bringing things to the table that he thinks he deserves. So at the end of the day, it's between the two, and they got to figure it out. Because that's one fight I would love to see.
For sure.
To actually be there in person to see, you know. But I'm a Bud fan.
I feel you. So what about Bud's game? Are you giving him the edge over Spence? Like what do you think he could exploit about Errol Spence?
Talk your stuff, Double Lock.
In his favor.
It's his ring IQ. I think he's too smart.
Wow.
He switches right, but that's just because of his ring IQ is so
exactly.
good.
Shamananaya, Shamanashanda. Tell the truth.
I just think he's gonna catch Spence late and take over the later rounds like he did with Sean Porter. I don't think he'll stop Errol Spence. I don't think he'll stop him. But I think towards later in the rounds, he's going to start to pick them apart and figure it out. Like, this is typically what he does. He loses the first couple rounds, and then he figures you out.
And then it's over with.
Kell
Burke, the flashback.
Right? Yeah. So that's how I see it playing out. You can't deny Spence's abilities, though. Like, he's strong, fast. He comes to fight.
And can slide in the pocket.
And he can move. You don't ever see him stuck in a clinch.
Yeah.
You know, because he knows how to work his free hands. So, I don't know. Like, it's a 50-50 fight, but my heart's with Bud.
Yeah.
You know? So.
Yeah. Do you think this is a potential matchup we can get a rematch and a trilogy out of, depending on how the first fight goes?
I think so.
Yeah.
I think so. I think they may one of them may end their career fighting the other.
Yeah.
I think. But they're going to be set if they do a trilogy, right?
Yeah.
So, I don't think they'll have to fight anymore after that.
Yeah. For sure.
But who knows? You never know. His boxing, one punch.
Uh-huh.
First round, one punch, that's it. You never know.
Right.
You know, so especially if you're cold and you're not warmed up. So I don't know.
Yeah.
Gracias, manita. Yeah, who said that?
This dude crazy. First of all, we've been talking about Spence and Crawford for a minute, and I never made a pick yet.
No.
I never made a pick. I said I'm leaning towards Errol slightly.
You gonna lie on this camera?
I can see.
You gonna lie on this camera?
I'm leaning towards Errol, but I can't really say wholeheartedly I got Errol yet because of Crawford's ability. Ring IQ, he's smart. Adjustments. He's a guy that's a natural fighter, can fight in any situation and get out of any situation in the ring. That guy's a natural, man.
I gave Spence his props because of the way he can, like, I never forget Mikey Garcia said this. Mikey Garcia said, when he was on the inside, as soon as you think you got a counter on him, he makes us, like, then all of a sudden he's right just enough. Not taking that from him. Also, I did say about Spence is that the size, he's been at 40, 47 since the amateurs to the pros, all his career. I understand that. And you got to wonder how thudding, and he's like Bernard Hopkins in his prime. Like, he's not, boom, all of a sudden you outsleep. It's seething power that just, like I was talking about when you stab the girl to the body, like it just sits with you and it slowly breaks you down. And Bud has a tendency to be flash hurt. Like, he'll be buzzed for a second, he'll be flash hurt, snap out of it because he in top shape, he snap out of it. But your ring IQ point, when he fought, I always go back to this fight, when he fought Ricky Burns, he came out just like this. Ricky Burns kept touching with the stick, and he felt like it was coming here. And it was hitting the side of Bud's glove. And Bud had on MXs, I think, that fight, which isn't a good defensive glove. It's more, you're not going to, power lock is a little bit, you could have a little bit better defense with. And so that glove is hitting him right here. He's not getting a good block on the side of the glove. He switched southpaw, and that made that range more longer for Ricky Burns. So now it's not coming here too close and just scraping his cheek, which later on can be a flush one too, getting closer. He wanted to switch his southpaw, and it made it much more difficult for Ricky to get in. But at the same time, how I feel like Bud, you worry about the last 4 rounds, 8 through 12, I'm gonna be shaking like a leaf because I worry, can he keep it? It's that size. Sitting,
It's that size. When it comes to adjustments, I'm giving Bud the edge.
Of course. But you still got to understand, if Bud doesn't stay in the pocket, let's say he picks his spots in the pocket here and there, but 9 times out of 10, he's rocking side to side, walk him over here, bop, do his stuff, walk him back over here. Similar to what Bernard did to Tito Trinidad. Let's see if he fights Bud, if Bud fights Spence the same way, like how Bernard fought Tito Trinidad. But let's say in those rounds 8 through 12, that all of a sudden just the little hip shots that Earl throws, the little shots to the thigh, the little shots that he's hit so many other guys with that are big. I won't say stronger, but bigger than Bud, because Bud is deceptively strong, but breaks him down just a little bit to where he gets closer to where he wants to go. And now it's kind of like Mildred Taylor against Chavez. You just want to see, can Bud make it to the finish line? Like, type of thing. But I still feel like he could hurt Spence and buzz him badly, because for some reason with Spence, he can't. It's something about getting hit on this side that freezes him every time. It's just the amateurs.
For me, the only way I don't see Bud making it to the end is if his mental, if he loses his mental control. We've seen Bud fight emotionally a couple times and lose.
He fights.
Right,
Oh, okay,
he lost his emotional edge. Like, I like to compare Errol Spence to Tim Duncan. Really fundamental. He's not going to give you a lot of flash, but he's going to get his bucket. He's going to get his rebounds. He's going to get his block shots.
Oh,
he sticks to his game. He sticks to his game. He fights where he's comfortable.
Flashy.
Tough.
Right. You know what I'm saying?
But he's a hell of a boxer.
Right. So if Bud can get Errol out of his box a little bit, that's where he can get the edge. But if Errol can get Bud out of his box, where he loses mental edge, I think that spells disaster for Bud. You know what I'm saying?
I think it's the feet. I think because our feet is going to play a big factor. How fast, even though Earl can slide under and step around, that can catch up to Bud's faster feet. But if Bud sits there and his feet is on point, whether he backpedaling or bop and slides over here and can get Earl just a half a second too late to turn to catch to where Bud is, that can be a problem too. Like, he just can't. The feet could be a thing too. It's so many variables you could come up with this daggone
Right. We could talk about this
God.
forever and ever. We'll have her here forever. We know you got to go to the gym.
Yes,
is there anything else you want to say? You want to tell them where we can follow you at on Instagram and check you out?
Yeah, you can follow me at RIANNA RIOS on Instagram. I have a Twitter, but I don't use it.
Yeah, I'm the same way.
But you can follow me on Twitter at RIANNA RIOS and
I'm
on
about
Facebook.
to follow you now.
But appreciate you all having me on here. If you haven't gotten your tickets, get your tickets. Get your tickets August 13th. It's going to be a great show.
For sure. RIANNA, thank you for coming on. We definitely appreciate you. Thank you.
Gracias por todo.
All right, look, we're going to go to one coach's opinion with Coach Fox.
Hey, what's up, everybody? One coach opinion. Remember, it's just my opinion. It's not a fact. All right, this is kind of going to be one that's I guess because it's not it didn't happen or it's not signed. It's just going to be like theoretical. So let's talk about Errol Spence and Terrence Crawford, because I see a lot of guys, especially old people, man. I remember back in the day, man, everybody used to fight everybody. No, they didn't. It was still negotiations. It was still business to come to. It took years to see Marvin Hagler and Sugar Ray Leonard. Sugar Ray Leonard never fought Aaron Pryor, and went publicly and told everybody at a press conference with Aaron Pryor there, I'll never fight this guy. I'll never fight. I know y'all want to see it, but I'll never fight him. So don't think it wasn't ducking and dodging back then. I'm not even saying ducking and dodging. Let's say it just doesn't make sense. So I know everybody's like, Errol Spence, Terrence Crawford, yeah, they got to fight, blah, blah, blah. So here's going to be the holdup. In the average situation, if Terrence Crawford went out and got two 147-pound belts, and Errol Spence went out and got two 147-pound belts, then they both could say, okay, let's bring it together. It's 50-50. But in Errol's mind, I did all the work at 147. That means if you do beat me, I'm going to get most of the pie. I did all the work gathering these belts. You're coming with one belt. I did all the work. So I want more money. And I don't think Terrence sees it that way. Terrence might see it, I cleaned up 140, and then I started my way to clean up 147. But Errol's always going to say, but I cleaned up 147. I fought every top dog in 147, and I beat him. I cleaned up 147, and now you want to come and just take the trash out. Or think that's what, I did all the work at 147. So I need more of the pie, which I would totally agree. I would totally agree. And it's not like that even Terrence is bringing a bigger fan base than Errol Spence. I would think, to be honest, if they had the fight, they probably would have the fight in Texas, where Errol has the biggest draw. I mean, you could go neutral to New York if you want to, but it's about money. So that's involved too. Where are we gonna have it? You know, they might say, well, Texas Stadium, why would we not have it at Texas Stadium when I know we could make way more money at Texas Stadium, and we're already complaining about money. You're complaining about your percentage, but we'll make more at Texas Stadium than we would at Madison Square Garden, if that's an issue. And Terrence might say, well, I'm a hell of a fan in Oklahoma, but they might say, well, nobody's gonna come to Oklahoma to watch this fight. And if they do, when you go to a city like that, you have to be able to entertain the people. You can't have a bunch of people in Oklahoma saying, man, it wasn't nothing to do. 20,000 people plus in Oklahoma just running the streets. Been to Oklahoma. You can't house 20,000 people with nothing to do. You need like a nightlife. That's why, I mean, Texas, even Dallas has a little bit of some, you know, from what I've heard. I've been to Texas. I lived in San Antonio. I know they got stuff. I can't say what's exactly near that stadium, but if you build a stadium, normally you got to build stuff around the stadium because people want to make money off the food and off the people too that don't want to sit there and eat stadium food all day long. You know, so it's probably a lot to do. Everybody that goes down there for what they say, the games, say it's okay, say it's lovely. So versus Oklahoma. So you're gonna have a lot of issues to why they couldn't fight. It's not, believe me, it's not Terrence is scared of Earl or Earl is scared. They're beyond that point. And for any other fight that you think is matched up, these guys are usually beyond that point of we're scared. Now does it make monetary sense? It's not really based on one guy being scared, one guy not being scared, one guy saying I can do this, one guy saying I can do that. It's based on monetary sense. Does it make monetary sense? I'm trying to get rid of that glare. I don't think I can get rid of it. But a lot of people don't realize, a lot of people don't realize, and they're just like, oh yeah, man, you know, back in the day, this guy used to fight this guy, that guy used to fight that guy used to fight that guy. You know, you saw the after effects. You don't know what it took to make Ray versus Hagler. You really don't know what it took to make Duran Ray the second time, or what they had to go through and stuff like that, or negotiations that had to be made. You know what I'm saying? You don't know really what it took before it got there. If you go on BoxRec and look up some of these guys and look at who they fought, you're going to see they didn't just fight back-to-back killers. It didn't work like that. And back then, these guys they definitely wasn't making the money. Now, of course, inflation and it was different, and you know, cost of living was different. They were rich guys. Don't get me wrong; they were rich beyond their means. A lot of rich boxers back then, but they were making nowhere near what boxers make now. You know what I'm saying? They weren't making that type of money. You know, I mean, now it's more TV. Before, you know, we had Wide World of Sports. How much you think Wide World of Sports paid fighters? Now you got Showtime, you got apps that charge people $9.99 a month that are paying fighters good for their services. So when they're giving out a big ass piece of pie, now these fighters are complaining about how the pie is getting sliced up. That's the problem, you know. It's not, oh man, he don't want to fight him, he's scared. He don't want to fight him, he's scared. It's, I don't want to fight him if he's getting $5 million and I'm getting $800,000. I don't want to fight him. That's not really a fighter being scared to fight. That's a fighter knowing, do I take this fight just for opportunity or what? But I want more money to fight this guy. So they're getting a pie. Right now, somebody is offering a pie for this fight. Let's just put it in that terms. And it's not that either fighter is scared to fight the other one. It's how we gonna slice this pie up so we both eat happily. And I don't think they both can eat happily because Errol's gonna want more of that pie because he brought more ingredients to the pie. Let's break it down like that. Errol went and bought more ingredients to the pie. Terrence is bringing part of the main ingredients. I'm bringing apples. I'm bringing apples to the apple pie. Earl's like, but I'm supplying the kitchen. I'm supplying all the other ingredients. Sure, we're making apple pie and you're bringing apples. I'm also bringing apples, but I'm bringing everything else. You're just bringing good apples. Some good apples we done heard about that this person has the best apples in the world. So now that this person has the best apples in the world, you know, you're forgetting that they got to be cooked in this kitchen and stuff like that. If you're understanding where I'm going, I don't want to go too far, but it's a pie and it's how they're slicing the pie. Earl does not want this pie sliced down the middle. And I can understand why he feels it shouldn't be sliced down the middle. Now, if Earl was going down to 140 and Terrence still had all the 140 belts, then Terrence would be able to say, I'm slicing it like this. I don't care what you did at 147. You're coming down to 140. I done cleaned up 140. And if you want these 4 belts, this is how the pie is going to look. That's plain and simple. It's not because I think Earl, if you think, oh yeah, he gets hit too much and blah, 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 you're looking too far into the fight. Right now, the fight is the money. That's what the fight is about. How are we going to divide this money up and the money? That's all this fight needs for it to go forward, is them to figure out how the money's gonna be sliced up so everybody eats good. Terrence wants to eat just like Earl eats, and it's not gonna happen. That's where the problem's gonna come. I don't care if it's 60-40 or something like that. I'm sure Earl doesn't even want 60-40. He's probably saying, you coming up and you got more to gain. I'm losing 3 belts. You lose 1. If you win, you gain 3 belts and become undisputed. And one time, I fought 3 dudes to get these belts, 3 separate guys to get these belts. They were champions. They weren't vacant belts. I went and took belts from champions. And you want to come down in one swoop and take them from me. It's not that I'm scared that you can take it from me. I'm just scared that you take it from me and I don't get credit for bringing most of the ingredients to this pie, bringing most of this stuff to the table. So this is a fight that really right now, it really can't be talked about technically because we're not even nowhere near that stage yet. Let me say that. Nowhere near that stage of this fight taking place to start comparing, oh yeah, who has the better defense, who got the better jab, who got the better fight skill. We're not even nowhere near, we're not even in that building yet. They're probably still arguing about where to have the fight at. We don't want biased judges. When it gets to the point, to be honest, that you're fighting in this spectrum, people gonna see what they're gonna see. I mean, to be honest, you're gonna get judges. You might not get the judges you want, but everybody will see it. Everybody's gonna have an opinion. Even if all the judges was to pick Terrence, you're still gonna have people that say, man, I thought Earl won. All right, so at this level, unless you knock somebody out, it's gonna go on your record. But that's why these fighters are like, I'm gonna eat good. I see what's going on in boxing. I see, and sometimes it ain't always corruption. Sometimes you just got a guy that can't judge, or a guy that likes stuff his way. Now, don't say, I'm not gonna say it's not any corruption going on. It's not any, of course. I mean, I can't say that, but I can say, you know, it's there. Deal with it like any other sport. Deal with it. You know where it's coming from. You know what I'm saying? So you're gonna have to deal with it, or don't be in the sport. There's no way to fix this sport right now. Every state has different commissions. Every state has this. Every state is ran. Every time you go to a different state, people don't realize, every time you go to a different state, different location, different country, boxing has different rules. I went to London. They
Purchase your track today.
There we go. That was the one coach's opinion. by Coach Fox. Make sure you guys go follow Coach Fox, Hands with Plans. One Coach's Opinion. Follow him on Instagram. Get a chance to check it out, or
Yeah, I did. I saw a little bit of it in the beginning. I won't go reiterate it because basically everything that he said, my opinions on it was throughout the whole interview, turns out. But especially the first part I did disagree with. But of course I do understand where Coach, is always coming from. Especially because he's done been in those rooms.
Right.
And I can't take that from him. So who the hell am I to even really disagree to a certain extent?
Yeah.
Because this man done been in those rooms and seen contracts saying, okay, we could do this or not, we can't do that, or so that's another thing. So a lot of things that you say, no matter what, of course I listen. I always make sure I pick up something and that I can learn from it. But his word is gospel.
Oh, for sure. For
so
sure.
I ain't got nothing to say.
No, for sure. Coach Fox is a very knowledgeable guy, man. Great guy. His son's phenomenal fighters and boxers in the area.
Textbook fighters.
Textbook fighters for real. So we're not gonna beat the dead horse over Errol Spence and Terrence Crawford. But it's good to talk about these things.
I mean, you already got the horse to the water to drink.
Brought him to the water to drink, but is he drinking yet? We're gonna find out. But what I disagree with him is we need to talk about these things, whether they've come to fruition or not. It's still good to talk about.
Oh, first, before we go to it, can we go ahead and say thank you to the real Double R?
Oh, no doubt. I was about to get to that too. Yeah, yes, for sure.
For coming in, and the new gloves that's actually been fought in, sparred in. All these are real gloves right here. And she was the first guest that we've had in the studio. In studio. I mean, and was not, something in the middle of camp. I gotta get through this. All right, let's go. No, like she was really
for sure
engaged and showed so much love. And she was the first fighter and first female fighter and first fighter that's a guest here. And signed the gloves, the slip and counter gloves that we have on the table, and every guest that come in will. But I'm honored that it was her to be the first fight, especially after the conversations we had.
Oh, for sure.
I'm honored that
if y'all don't know who RIANNA RIOS is, man, you gonna know her after this episode. And if you're still having questions or doubts about who she is, make sure you guys watch her fight August 13th. Team No Excuse, they fighting at the Rosecroft. If you can't make it, you probably catch highlights or film on YouTube. Go check her out. When I tell you guys she is a superstar, not in the making because she already is one. She's a superstar. She's the next up. She's the next big thing, not only in women's boxing, in boxing, period. Yeah. Is that an accurate statement? Or am I hyping this? That's accurate.
Excuse me. I don't thank you. I don't disagree with that. I think but I want to make sure I preference my comments. It's not that I don't think she's a superstar. I just think that it's beautiful that she's so blue collar with it, like blue collar with a swag. Like
that's what I'm saying.
You see her outfits, but she's a blue collar fighter that she's gonna really touch a lot of people, because especially when they see an interview like this, she's gonna touch so many people, and especially Latin culture. You know how they love when you really give it up out there. They're gonna really love and fall in love with her, and on top of that, kind of like the Johnny Tabby thing, I could see more people, especially like how you said the fans were when I wasn't there with you, when they was talking, how they was like, oh, you here to see, things like that. They're gonna love her on a higher level as things keep on going on, but more so than not with how she conducts herself, she's a champ throughout, like definitely.
Yeah,
right. This is a beautiful. I think she's gonna have a beautiful ascension.
No, for sure. Like there's some guys that you see that's at her level, some women at her level, and you kind of be like, I don't know if I can see them, at that level. But when I look at RIANNA, her style in the ring, from the ring walk all the way to the time she comes out the ring after the fight, like that's somebody I could see Madison Square Garden, Cowboy Stadium, the Superdome fighting big fights. I see that in her future for sure.
Not just that, but she puts butts in the seats and she does a good show.
Right.
Because certain factors have to go into that. It's like, okay, yeah, the person can fight, but can they sell tickets? Oh, they can sell tickets, and they got a nice attachment when you see them come out the entrance way, like, oh, here come RIANNA, things like that's a
superstar.
She has especially when it comes to the aura of Latin fighters, she has all of that to where they're gonna really be pulling at the heartstrings when she comes out with that cowboy hat on.
I'm telling you, boy, it's over with. It's over with. I can see it in her future already. So one more topic I wanted to talk about real quick.
Shoot.
We got Adrian Broner fighting Omar Figueroa. AB coming back. AB is coming back. I know you know Twin personally. Is this a good move for AB? Where's his career really going? Because I
just
know,
had to do this thing. You was planning on this thing.
you know I was planning on it, but we got to talk about it because AB's career has been tumultuous to say the least. He's been through a lot, self-inflicted wounds, some maybe not.
Tell
You know what I'm saying?
I'm glad you
So-
telling the truth on that one.
I'm going to tell the truth. This is like AB's what, third, fourth, fifth comeback? I'm not trying to be funny. I'm being like dead serious. You know what I'm saying? Because I like AB.
No.
He laughing. I'm being dead serious.
That's the messed up part is that he's dead serious. Nobody in here gonna act like we just gonna act like he didn't catch that, right? I'm dead serious. But yeah, you know, this is like his fourth, fifth comeback,
No,
right? Third,
because
fourth, fifth, third. He didn't say first. It's like his second or third. He said third, fourth, fifth, though.
Am I wrong? he think I'm being funny, but no,
Yes.
because for real, yo, like for real,
goodness.
like I like AB. He's marketable. He can sell tickets. He can put butts in seats, and the boy can fight his ass off. So it's like, what happened with AB to where he derailed himself so much that he's not a guy that we can be like, that's a future Hall of Famer. That's a guy, even with his accomplishments, 4-division world champion. We're not looking at AB and saying that's a guy that's a Hall of Famer. That's a guy that's this in boxing. He's that in boxing. His stigma is what we see before we see who AB is as the fighter. So is this fight with him and Omar Figueroa, does this do a service for his career, or like what is this? This is just another smoke in the mirrors for us as boxing fans. I'm gonna let you have it from there. I'm gonna scoot that mic closer to you.
All right, I'm gonna do my best with this.
Do your best, man.
PG, I gave a disclaimer. I'm gonna do my best, okay? All right, I'm gonna do my best. Look, I'm actually more worried about this fight than his other ones, cause you gotta hope on my. Remember, they were supposed to fight before a few years back,
Mm-hmm.
and then in certain instances happening where that was taken away, didn't come into fruition. So and some of the shortcomings that that Twin has had, Omar Figueroa has had, you know, but it's not as on my mixtapes and on Shade Room, you know, it's not on with Omar Figueroa, you know, it's more in the close knit town and every, you know, type of thing. But Omar Figueroa can really, he might give Twin a working over, bro. Like, people forget Omar Figueroa. Now Twin should have target practice with him. I'm sorry, I hate to say it, but Twin shouldn't have no problem hitting them with whatever he want. Double bricks, double whips, flurry that, all that should be right there down the pipe with this guy.
No doubt.
But at the same time, Omar Figueroa, man, he could get you a working over.
Mm-hmm.
He throws so many punches being your chest so much, so you wonder, all right, you know, just how good a shape is, because you know he was known to throw 1,100 punches, 1,000 punches, 900 punches a fight.
Mm-hmm.
So your whole thing is, okay, he might outwork. I mean, we know one of the problems that Twin has always had is, especially when he's not staying in the gym, is one punch at a time. It's all throwaway shots. Then he might go, and he walk off on you. It's one shot, pot shot. Then he wastes another. Because in boxing, you're taught, especially starting in the amateurs, you're taught don't wait more than 10 seconds to throw another shot. Even if it's a movement like a double feint, like you walk off on him or something like that. But you're taught to, you know, you're supposed to don't wait a certain length of time without throwing something.
Yeah.
And that's always been Twin problem. And then when you add to it his I hate to say this word, but demonstrative acts outside the ring that have bitten him has affected his skill sets in the ring. I mean, he was in dog shape for the Pacquiao fight and still barely let his hands go. Against a guy who I feel all he needed to do was just throw his flurries and take the quarter step, and if Pacquiao comes forward, shoot the uppercut, dip, and spin out. Or take a a whole half step back, double dip and turn, something like that, like double dip and then turn. You know, he didn't even do that. So there's, from what I've been told, he's been in camp for 6 months because the fight kept getting pushed back.
Right.
Not publicly, but privately, the fight kept getting pushed back. And people, but I've also heard that, man, he still got that. We've been in camp for 6 months. He still got that gut on him. Like, people been picking apart that video of him and Coach GT, the legendary GT Gerald Tucker. He ain't just no pad dude. We don't do the mitts, do the same Roger Mayweather counts. No. Gerald Tucker was on nationals teams with Uncle Hove, James Baker, Fernando Vargas, and Floyd, and just Chop Corley, all of them on national team. Gerald Tucker was a bad dude. Clarissa Shields has him in her camp right now. People are picking apart that video like, man, he could barely turn anymore. He barely getting his feet off the ground to turn anymore. He going through the motion, not even throwing his punches all the way. Oh man, he still gotta go. You been in camp for 6 months. You still got that alcohol. Still having a problem coming off. Because that's all it is alcohol. It's having and it is not coming off.
Uber Eats and everything else.
And you messed up on that. So let's.
There's no doubt that AB's a special.
Huh? What'd you say?
I said there's no doubt that AB is a special talent, man. There's no doubt about that. I still think he has gas in the tank, but it's like, where's his mental gonna be for this fight? And why is he fighting? Is he fighting for love of the game? Why is he fighting? Man, does he want to come back and make another run? You know what I'm saying? That's my biggest question with AB is, where is he at?
This my thing. You know what? I'm gonna need something a little more stronger than this Deer Park water to get through this subject. All right.
I got some scotch in the car.
No, I don't drink. This sun kid's gonna do the trick right here. This is my thing, man. We all know why he's still fighting. Let's be real here.
No, for sure. But we're not here to tear nobody down. We ain't want to get this because I like AB. I ain't trying to tear him down. Or I love to see him do well. Oh, yeah, I don't want to put none of his personal stuff on blast out here for nobody. You know.
All right, I got some. That's that dumb ass. Oh yeah. All right, I'm good to go.
Man, I'm here drinking soda. What I tell your mom?
Bruh. Anywho, disrespectful. So, Omar Figueroa can really spoil a lot for Twin. He should have no problem throwing his punches, landing them on Omar Figueroa, but at the same time, Omar Figueroa might not let him breathe.
Yeah. And
it might play right into Omar Figueroa's hands that all I got to do is just keep putting my hands on him. Even if I ain't got a lot of pop on it, just keep putting my hands on him, and I got him.
Right.
And I got him. And with Twin, it's been so much, man, since the amateurs with this guy, from the stuff that he got in trouble for to when he got out, turned pro, and coming up. And people say, well, how good he was. What if he would have stayed, a little more focused or whatever? And I can honestly say, man, the story would have been the same. He would still have the same record. He would still have, and he barely won that last fight. If people want to say, some people don't feel like he won.
Yeah.
We all know, he done said some things to people, and he not really checking himself before he do that, and then them people know more than he think that they know, and they come back and they say, how much you owe Al, or they say, how much is, you doing, oh, you only fighting because of X, Y, and Z. And going into this fight, first of all, I want to make sure I say something good here about him. Stop saying he's a waste of talent, people. First of all, I'm gonna be very critical of him because I had the pleasure of being in the gym with him, and throughout the amateurs, through the pros, being at Headbangers a few times where I was still, trying to get the confidence to do this, and being around him, and being beside him and Lamont Peterson and those stuff like that. And it's night and day if you put him in. You gotta think, you got Lamont Peterson in that gym with you. It's night and day. You see them two train.
Right.
Night and day.
So is it safe to say that, you know, with AB's gifted ability, what's separating him from a guys like you said, Lamont Peterson, other guys you've seen in the gym, because you've been in there with him too personally. His discipline is what sets him apart and is a part of his downfall, his or lack thereof, discipline.
Mm-hmm. Straight up. I mean, he's not a waste of talent because this boy could have been dead. Like, I'm just calling it like it is. He could either be dead or like that. You hear everybody, oh, would have been dead or in jail. No, him and his brother, yeah, they was treading the line, man. Why you think? I mean, what you think? After he's already been a 3-time. This is before he won the belt for the 4th time. When he was a 3-time champ, when his whole car got shot up, and at first he didn't know. He thought it was the rap song on his stereo, and all of a sudden he's like, oh no, they busting at me. And he went speeding across. I think it was the Arkansas line. I forget which county line or state line he went across.
Mm-hmm.
No, Kentucky. I'm sorry. And he went across the line to get over or whatever, and they arrested him.
Mm-hmm.
But you can't say you're a waste of talent because
he's a 4-division world champion at the day.
exactly at a
4-division
young
world
age.
champion. Yeah, so you can't sit there and say that.
And
you
then
know.
on top of that, he did it, and he doesn't mind fighting anybody, anytime, anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, his shortcomings, you know, he could have been a little more like, especially when he started doing more Floyd stuff. Is that like if you look at when he fought that boy name was Trujillo? I think it was Trujillo. I forget his name, but he fought a boy on ESPN2 once.
Mm-hmm.
That boy gave him all he wanted. The boy never fought again after that. Was that kid's only loss.
Mm-hmm.
Quintero. I think his name was Quintero. People felt like he beat Twin. If you watch that, you be like, that's
Right.
not the Twin. But yes, that's how he really fought in the amateurs all the way up. Like he never used the Floyd stuff or whatever. And then he tried to mimic that and he started getting caught with shots and things of that nature. As he continued to progress, you add. All right, man, bump it. This is too difficult.
So look,
man.
so we got a comment. We got a comment right here, and I'm looking at the chat right now.
It's
Fool's
hard,
8-ball gamer. He said it's not so much AB is a waste, but he didn't reach his full potential. He didn't reach his full potential. I mean, yeah, it's lifestyle choices that he made, things of such nature.
All right, you know what? Forget it. I can't discredit myself. I can't discredit you, bro. I can't discredit Nietzsche. You know, so I'm just keep it all the way tall for you, man. From what people have told me and what people have known and said, he's basically Hector Camacho. He's our era's Hector Camacho. Okay? If y'all see me stuttering and stammering with talking about this topic.
I'm trying to find the right things to say to not step on nobody's toes.
Yes, like
because it's personal.
It's not, because I'm so happy for him for how good he's done.
Right.
But at the same time, in the ring and out of it, he's could have done so much better. Bink, you know the stuff you've heard outside of the ring. Like, bro, wait a minute, he's doing that. He should be living comfortable with this, doing this, doing that. And he's basically, I'm gonna tell y'all a story an old timer told me about Hector Camacho. Hector Camacho had. We already know. If you watch the documentary, go watch it.
It's on Showtime. It's bad.
Him, Kevin Cal, all of them used to come up here to round 1 and train, right? So around the time he was about to fight Chapo Rosario, this was Hector's homecoming. He gonna fight at the Garden and all that. You know, this was Hector's coming home, and he got hurt. But basically what happened with the Maidana fight happened with Macho. But Macho didn't get put down.
Mm-hmm.
But he was getting hurt all night. Okay? Fight's over. The crazy part was he kept looking up at the Titantron. Like, if this light's the Titantron, kept sitting there. He had the best cut man in the business from Crunk Jim, Thibodeau. Guy who used to be a big old red beard. You could see him talk on Legendary Nights, Hearns, Leonard. That same cut man was in Macho's corner. He was like, he said he had a little scratch cut. Remember those horse heads were a little tighter.
Mm-hmm.
You know what he said? Is it bad? Nah, man, it's a scratch. Stop worrying about it. He's still looking up at the Titantron, the whole thing. So the fight's over. Get back to the dressing room. The reporter who was the beat writer for that follow Macho. He comes into the dressing room and he goes, Macho, what up, Hector? You did it, baby. So what's he got so exhausted of hearing Macho time this whole time he had been beat writing on Hector. So he chose to turn the tables and come through the door. Hey, Hector, you did it, baby. What time is it? It's Macho time. And Hector was sitting and still had his trunks on, but his hands he had no wraps on none of that, but still had his foot out when he had the ice pack hit on his face right here, and he looks at him and he goes, nah, it ain't Macho time. It's time to go home and go to sleep. And he was like, what's wrong, Hector? He said, I can't do it no more.
Yeah.
And he said, what you talking about? He said, I can't continue to abuse my body like this and still think that I'm going to be able to be at the best level. I can't keep doing it anymore because it scared Hector. He had never been hurt before.
Exactly.
And when he got hurt and his vision, he said when he got hit, his vision did this and he had to get it together. He wasn't used to that. And the stories of Hector partying is legendary.
No, for
My goodness. And some of them wasn't even in the documentary from what I've heard since a little kid. Now, let's turn that to Adrian Broner. You got social media now. Everything that this boy has done has been on World Star, especially when World Star was World Star. Like, it was on World Star, my mixtapes. What other one am I missing? Baller Alert,
the
Shade
Source,
Room, The Source.
Yeah.
This, I mean, everything he did, and some of it, I have the full freedom to talk on here and say some of the stories, but I choose not to.
We don't really get into it like that.
But yeah, some of the crazy stories that I told you, that wild stuff. And then to have certain things come up short in the ring and outside of it. And now you look at this guy and you can see that you got guys that you train with. And BINK, you've trained with a few where you got to say, for the 4 quarters I got him, he the best guy. But as soon as we get back to that dressing room, we take these cleats off. I worry about him for the next 20 hours.
Man. When I was playing ball out in California, you know how big gang culture is in California, Bloods, Crips, all that stuff, man. It was my team. A lot of my teammates was, doing what they had to do to survive, to get through school and pay for books and have a car to drive to and from practice and stuff like that. So when we was on the field, I was like, yo, he good. But a lot of them was living out of their cars, selling drugs, doing what they had to do. So like, I feel for a lot of these situations when we talk about certain things with these fighters. I feel for them because it's like sometimes you just have to do what you got to do to get by. You know what I'm saying? And you do worry about those guys because of the lifestyle that they're living outside of the ring or the sport. You know what I'm saying?
But Primo, you talking about school? We talking about $1 million fight in there.
And that's the thing where Adrian Broner was a product of, I don't want to say his environment, but his early lifestyle choices. I don't know if he was able to shake him. I think it was just,
If I get it, if it's in you, is in you. You've heard stories about me, but the difference was that my discipline to my craft never wavered.
That was
And when you looking at Twin, I'll give an example right now. I'm looking at him right now. I ain't got to worry about him when we leave this place. I ain't got to worry about this kid that I'm looking at right now if we not in the gym training together. But there's teammates. Some of them aren't here anymore. That mean everything to me. That are not here no more. That were special.
And that's the sad part, because it's always those guys, the special ones. The
ones
that you God, that guy, he going to the league. That's the dude that's going to put
don't
the city on the map.
They ain't got to work as hard as the other kid who got good talent, but not that talent.
That guy just having fun and is still kicking everybody ass. Yeah, it's sad. It's sad when those talents don't make it to the level they were supposed to.
And once again, listen to what BINK said, and we're talking about a 4-division and youngest champ to do it. And yet, I don't give a damn who you are. You cannot abuse your body and do certain things and just keep thinking that, oh, I'm just sweat it off and go right back to work and my speed, and it's gonna be at a certain point in time, it's gonna erode. And let's be real here. Are we still looking at? I'm not even gonna say the Jason Litzau fight, but let's say the boy he beat. What's that Armenian name boy? He beat for his 4th world title. He spanked that boy. He beat the mess out that boy. He was at Headbangers for the whole training camp. He wore the Bengals colors that fight. The black with the he had a beard. He wore the black with the orange. It was all glittery. And he beat the I mean, he walked this, but he didn't even do all the slick stuff that, you know, Twin to do. He was just banging on this young man. Walk him over here. Boom. Walk him back over here. Boom. Oh, goodness. Walked over talking. Hey, Paulie. Hey, Paulie. Yo, hey, bro. I'm in shape. I'm in shape, Paulie. It's just what it is. And then went back to his corner. I mean, beating the mess out this boy. And you, even with that fight, I felt at that time, that fight.
I can't pronounce his name, but I know it's here. Khabib.
Yes.
I can't pronounce. I'm not even gonna try, but I know exactly. Yeah.
Let me see.
October 3rd of 2015.
Yes. Let me see his name. I could be able to pronounce it.
All right, bro. Go ahead. Just pronounce that.
Oh, Alaka Hervidev. Diev is Diev.
Yeah, I like. I ain't gonna try. Bro. I ain't gonna sound dumb on the damn show. We're not gonna do that. Ain't gonna put me on blast.
Oh my lord.
Yeah.
Allah Diev.
But hold on, though, real quick. Do you think AB messed up the bag when he didn't sign with Roc Nation?
No, he did the right thing by not signing with them.
Okay.
So many fighters signed with them and that didn't go well. Miguel Cotto signed with them and then I had a cup of coffee and left them as quick as he came.
Mm-hmm.
But also, let's be real here, Twin didn't sign with them for a certain reason. The contract was $40 million for 5 years.
Mm-hmm.
So he was going to get $8 million a fight.
Right.
And this is Twin at the height of being Twin. I don't even think he had one loss yet. I think he may have had one loss, and that's it. If that, at that point.
I'm looking at him right now. He's 34-4-1. So
beautiful record.
24 knockouts.
That's a beautiful record.
So don't sit up here and say a waste of talent, man.
You know, so now that's you get offered $8 million a fight, 5 years, $40 million. What does that mean? AB will have to be on pay-per-view nonstop.
Mm-hmm.
So if I'm giving you $40 million, $8 million a fight, that means that I'm expecting to walk away with $80 million. The company, they ain't trying to break even by giving you $40 million. They got $40 million back. They trying to make anywhere between 80 or 120. Do I got the math right on that? Anybody in here? Like, that sound about right?
I ain't a mathematician.
Okay, cool.
Be
so,
honest.
no. All right, let me break it down for you like this.
Mm-hmm.
If you invest in me,
right,
and you said, I like this kid, Silk, Silk, we're gonna offer you this same deal. You giving me $8 million a fight, but your pay-per-view only made $8 million.
Mm-hmm.
What does that mean? You broke even, right?
Right, barely.
If that.
Mm-hmm.
So what are you trying to bring? You trying to bring back 12 to 16 million.
Right.
And what would Twin would have had to do at that time? He would have had to fight the Machine, Lucas Matisse. At the time, he was still the Machine. He was the Machine. He was undefeated. He would have had to fight then. He would have had to fight certain fights that, in my opinion, I won't say Twin wasn't scared to fight them fights, but that means that he would have never had a night off for his body to recuperate. Like, he would have had to fight back to back to back to back tough fights. Because with that type of sale, now if they would have said we're offering you that, but we giving you $5 million, then in between they still would have been able to do, okay, Lucas Matisse, then we're gonna give you a good name for you to be on pay because we know you're gonna talk and sell it regardless.
Yeah.
But with that big of a number, you have to keep fighting these big pay-per-view type. And remember, they were already trying to move him to the Floyd type of pay-per-views where it's Canelo, it's Shane Mosley, then it's this guy, then it's these tough fights.
If we're being honest, do you think that played a role in his demise too?
Yes.
Where folks was comparing him to Floyd so early, he felt like he had to live up to it.
1 + 1 = 3.
So he had to do everything. He was trying to do everything Floyd was doing, but he wasn't Floyd. And I think I remember Floyd getting on and saying, "AB, like, you're not me yet. Like, stay
Not
where you
just
at."
that, but he told him, you up at a certain level, man. You can't just do, you can't make these certain
can't make
mistakes.
mistakes. Yeah, he was saying that.
And you can't make these certain boxing mistakes in the ring. Certain moves that Twin was making, and Floyd was like, at that point, you're not gonna get away with that at the highest level. But yes, hell yeah. Square peg in a round hole. Yes, that was a problem. So him fighting, when he fought Herb Diev. When he fought a la Herb Diev, he beat the mess out that boy, and he looked good. He looked like he was in shape. He threw good shots, good punches, consistent punches. But at the same, you wonder as soon as he got, can he stay on it? Then he fought, and it started to show like, oh, now he getting in shape. He still can't. Now he really can't let his hands go, because now you still trying to get your body back instead of maintaining it. You now, as soon as it's over with, you going back to living whatever way you want to do things. And also, Twin psyche, you can't knock him from where he came from. He went, you know what I mean? You had that conversation about money, and I said, man, you know, I want to say this, I do this, and this how I do. I was breaking down how I do my money. I've had friends like AB, and they're the friends that, look, man, I ain't have nothing, I ain't come from nothing, so, and I can't take it with me, so why not spend it now? That's how they look at certain things. So certain mistakes that he's made just really made it worse for him. And now I think he's playing catch up. Right. Skill-wise, money-wise, everything. He's just playing catch up now to stay on, try to be on point with his, and now it's like, man, he's never gonna have it, especially now he's in his 30s. And now that's when everything that you got away with in your 20s start catching up to you on your body. Because when you were 27 and things like that, you now easily can snap your body out of it and go in there and still be yourself and look sharp as a tack. But now all the things that you did, cheating, too much drinking, all that stuff, now is sweating off. But now your body's not, you're forcing your body to try to snap out of and do certain
He's 33
moves.
years old now. You know what I'm saying? Like, we talking about
with 300 amateur fights.
Right. We talking about Earl and Bud being 34, 33 years old, whatever. But he is like a true 33.
Yeah.
With what he's been through, put his body through. You know what I'm saying? That's the point I was about to make. He's a true,
you go.
You know, so that's a good point you just made. And
for instance, me, you know, I'm very candid on here. I don't care. I'm not scared to be open. You know, even though I am closed off a lot, but you know, it took forever. It took how many years to get me to this point to even look at this camera and have all these people in this room and many others and you will believe in me to talk. But basically, with my body, I've never smoked, I've never drank because of me having sickle cell. And certain people, when you know, you got people with sickle cell that smoke or whatever, but it's still a hazard, because that's why they tell you to do edibles instead. Because if you have a ailment that compromises your breathing, why would you smoke weed, which is gonna take away the pain, but you're also depleting your oxygen. So as soon as it recover, boom, you rebounding back in pain again. So I just never played with it. I just never drank, I never smoked, and I just stayed on this one. And I've always added in, my parents have always added and subtracted from that game plan. And it's paid off now that I'm 32, that I can still, you heard my mother said, Bink, you gotta watch him because he'll overdo it. That's his only problem. He will overdo it in the gym, at work, whatever. He overdoes it. That's what you got, because he think he's not doing enough. And those sacrifices pay dividends, so I can make sure, oh, Nishi need me at the studio at 12. Okay, all right, make sure I'm ready to go. And it paid off with the certain things that I did. And if you're doing those things, like Bud and Earl, yeah, Earl drank a lot, but at a certain point, Earl was like, man, I can't keep getting away with this. And then that crash really woke him up. It's like, man, I can't get away with this mess no more. You know, and now he was able to, at the right time, put Matt, you know, back off, recalibrate everything and keep his body like, all right, I can't. Because at a certain point, Mr. Bo is another one, Riddick Bowe. I talked to Riddick Bowe one time. He was in the gym with me and my dad. They reminiscing over old times when they used to fight or whatever. And he said, Mr. Bo was one of the best talents. Besides Roy Jones Jr. on the 88 team, you watched Riddick Bowe. Weight, regardless of weight class, he was the nicest. Man, you go look at the tape. I ain't trying to sidetrack. Just go look at the tape. When he turned pro, and his career and everything, we already know it. Mr. Bo sitting there in the gym, right? So he's sitting on this bench. And now, so we just talking. I'm standing up, getting my hands right. My dad sitting beside him. I said, Mr. And he's very honest. I said, yo, Mr. Bo, so is it true you had a kitchen in your in your bedroom? You had a kitchen built in your bedroom? He said, yeah. It's like, he said, I said, why did you have like 60, 70 pound swings and stuff sometimes? Well, little Junior, man, you only live once. So if I saw a piece of cake over there, I went and ate it.
Simple as that.
He was
man.
straight up with
Simple
it.
as that.
You straight up with it. You just heard me run down Hector Camacho. You heard me run down Riddick Bowe. It's so many factors in this game that could throw a great fighter off. You could have the most disciplined fighter like Kevin Kelly, but be in too many wars, too many tough fights. That slow him down, mess him up. You could have somebody like Riddick Bowe, him not being able to kid, wasn't smoking or drinking, it was just food. And that eroded his skills, trying to snap his body back over and over again on top of the wars he was in. Then you got somebody like Hector Camacho, skills there, and then all of a sudden, the partying catching up to him to where now he can't really turn it on as much as he wants to. Then he got hurt and it scared the crap out of him. And then he's too deep in on the outside of the ring stuff to where he can't back off on it no more. It is what it is. But he can't snap his body back to that beautiful, magical place where he was.
Mm-hmm.
Now we're talking about Twin. Drink like a fish. This is all public stuff. So let's not make it like Silk bashing him or whatever. Because once again, you've heard me talk about how beautiful he can, man, that Bama is. Some of the stuff he could do in the pocket is, and with no fear, is something. And drop hard shots is, man, he made me a believer when he did what he did to Tony DeMarco. Cook God almighty. I was like, oh, shucks. Because he stood in the pocket with Tony DeMarco. He stayed in the pocket with him and broke him down. And now you see he got in dog shape for Manny Pacquiao. Still couldn't even throw 20 punches around. So now it's like on top of the outside the ring stuff that everybody hears about and you wonder about what is he doing, things like that. He's playing and people say, I hear stories all the time. Like my mother would be like, hey mom, you hear about Twin? Please don't tell me he's dead. That's what my mom says sometimes because she's been so accustomed with
bad news coming surrounding his name with, and people that surround him.
And there's so many teammates that you've heard that we all knew that passed away. Rest in peace, Quick. Rest in peace, Big Smooth, Danny Kelly, baby.
That's the one thing that's unfortunate about DMV boxing, man. A lot of talent don't make it to that level that they should have made it, man. A lot of guys don't make it that should have made it.
You know what a promoter told me? You wanna know what a promoter told me? My father used to say all the time, man, that, there's always the knock on DMV fighters. That, man, everybody from DMV can rumble. But it's the outside the ring stuff with them you got to worry about. And fast forward, my dad's a trainer now, retired. And now I'm, being around great fighters in training camps and sparring, being around great fighters. And I hear promoter, I'm not going to say his name. He told me, he said, he came here. He was at Constitution Hall. And I went to go talk to him, shake his hand. He knew who I was. You remember, I think I told you a little bit of this story. And he said, it seemed like all the fighters know you. So I'm going to call you. He called me while I was in the lab. Like I was I had class and I'm dealing with a cadaver. And he called, I'm like, oh. And then all of a sudden, he sent the text message and called again. I said, oh, crap. Scrub out, go out. And I'm trying to put all my people on. I'm mentioning all my hometown guys. All of them, especially the ones who fought at Constitution Hall that night. If you were there that night, you know what I'm talking about. He said, nah. One of the fights, he said, nah, nah. I said, no, man, that's the Johnny Tapia era. Get him, whatever. He He's like, nah, I don't want, nah, we're not doing that, kid. When he say, no problem with a lot of y'all fighters from here, man. You guys can fight, but it's always, you know, some superstar party and stuff that be going on outside the ring that really be messing with y'all more than anything. And with Twin, you're trying to watch him. He's literally getting off the couch to go into these training camps. And now you hear he's in a 6-month training camp, which is great. Like, he really, now he's not, it's just, oh, turn around in 8 weeks. Because what AB, how AB treats his body and what he does outside the ring, you really want, he's like, thank God he has a 6-month camp because he could, because you really don't want to.
know he in the gym. He out in Colorado, he in the gym. He not in the DMV, he not in Ohio. He's away from everything, and he's training. So,
exactly.
So I like this. I was gonna, like I asked you in the beginning, like I like this for AB. I like that he's in a spot where he seems focused. You know what I'm saying? Everything about his past, we all know it. We all heard about it. But AB's a guy that no matter what happens to him, no matter what he's put himself through or what he's gone through in his career, he's a guy I want to see do well because of how well he's done already. 4-division world champion. I want to see him get through all of that and finish his career on a high so that one day they can make a movie about him or write a book about him. AB's a guy that, like Hector Camacho, they made that fantastic documentary. If you haven't checked it out, go to Showtime and check out that documentary about Hector Camacho. He's a guy, Adrian Broner, that I see having something like that in the future written about him. You know what I'm saying? But I would love to see AB finish his career on a good note, a high note, and it starts right here with Omar Figueroa.
Well, how is his body going to be there, though? Because we don't see him still look slow.
It seems to look slow, but I just hope he can find. I hope he can find it.
Exactly.
You know
it's the hope.
It's the hope, but I'm going to hope. I'm going to wish nothing but the best for that brother.
Of course.
You know what I'm saying? I got to see it. I want to see it, you know? I'm praying he could do it. Because I'm so tired of hearing about the bad about AB. Oh, AB's in trouble again. AB's in court. AB's out of shape. AB's doing this.
Better if he would.
You know what I'm saying? He could be better. He's a waste of talent. AB did this, but he's this now. I want to hear, you know, AB, man, he made a bounce back. He turned his life around, turned his career around. You know what I'm saying? He's out on a high note. That's what I want to hear. That's what I want to see with AB, man.
But what chance do you give that?
What chance? It's a chance I'll probably hit the Mega Millions one day. You know what I'm saying? But I'm going to still play every now and then. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to still play every now and then. But, man, look, this was a great episode, man. Everybody in the chat, thank you guys for watching and commenting and engaging with us. We're going to do better engaging. We got to pull up the chat and engage more with the guys and girls commenting. Thank you guys so much, guys. This is Slipping Counter Podcast. You guys can reach us on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. Check me out, too, on Instagram. BINK Boxing. You can check him out at
Junior the Golden Boy.
Junior the Golden Boy, man. Thank you guys for watching, and we out.
Gracias por todos, mi gente. Hasta luego.